Trump accounts. And, you know, Dell was talked about very favorably one more time. So that was a huge move back there to the upside. Look, SpaceX, big. Apple, big. Hope you guys had a big day as well, and hope you guys enjoyed whatever you were trading. And if you were on your hands today, perfect, man. You don't need to be trading all of the time. Randy, can you confirm the burgers have arrived or no? The burgers are in the house, and you can't wipe that smile off of Randy's face. So we will see everybody very, very soon. We're going to get over to that gym. Sharif is back here. We're very happy to have him back. It's the Joe and Sharif, the Midday Show, and they're going to take it over right now. Thank you, everybody on TikTok today.
Oh, did you see the new tanker in our video there? Was that updated? Play it back. Oh, Assassino, should we do that one more time?
Yeah,
so we
play
can
it.
show everybody the tanker there. Okay. No problem.
Oh, no, that's it. No, we can. All right, man.
All right, here we go. Let's say hello to everybody. Greetings. Oh, there it is. Oh, in the straight as well. It was right in the straight. Okay, Fabian, we see you.
Right,
shout out to my man, Fabian. Shout out to everybody. Greetings and salutations, beautiful people. Welcome to the Midday Show. In case you didn't meet this handsome gentleman already, that is your boy Joey Options. I am Sharif. Shout out to Ronaldo. Shout out to Wendy's, Mr. Tums. We got Bovin. We got Edward, Paper Hands. Shout out to Grunfeld and Overweight Spider. Mike PD Ryder. Ginvesting, Rodney Owen, shout out to Christmas, and Nothing But Junk, 9267. We got Hangry Wife, we got Fred, we got Pitchbull, Heart to Heart Media is joining us, as well as Dr. Wynn, Overweight Spider. Get on that treadmill, man, or get on the spider web or something there. King Clutch, 007, Blakey Spears, D-Loaf, Hey Jensen. We got Ole Ole Ole.
Oh.
Sorry. Bye, Ole Ole Ole.
Oh.
There's no more Ole Ole Ole. Y'all are out. Callum Mitchell Miller, the Auspicious Turtle, T Money Kirk D with Johnny G, Hell's Gate, and Britt Brendan. Good morning to everybody. We're going to let Joey get set up, guys. All right, we got a halter working here. Halted down, sadly. FXHO is halted up at around 18 and change, 18 the third. It is now halted down at 16 the third. The market giveth, and of course, the market taketh away. So we're going to be careful with these ones. Let's bring in the side charts and have a look at some of the small cap gappers that we got running on the day. You'll notice two, ones that are standing out that are not technically small cap gappers. They are leveraged ETFs. AXTX and AAOX, middle left of your screen. We're going to keep those on watch today as the pickings are slim in the world of small cap gappers. But we've also got a couple of holdovers. We got OUST. This one, I wasn't here Thursday, but I was here on Tuesday. I wasn't here Wednesday either in the afternoon. And so these ones are holdover from last Tuesday and last Monday. So we got OUST continuing to run. We got RXT as well, which we've seen run as well. So we're going to keep tabs on that. Got more to talk about. We got to send it to Joey.
All right, guys. VinFast continues to expand beyond vehicle sales. This week, VinFast India partnered with Shriram Finance to support EV financing access, while Green SM launched all-electric ride-hailing in Kazakhstan. With VinFast VF6 vehicles together, these moves highlight VinFast's broader mobility ecosystem strategy. You can find them on the Nasdaq under ticker VFS.
Adam James abroad dropping two nice ones in the chat. Must, yes, man. What?
Randy's already got the lunch rolling.
He's already got the lunch. Randy's going deep, man. Yeah, he takes his lunch. He takes his lunch on, I guess, Eastern time. What's
Pacific.
that? No,
not
Atlantic
even
time.
Yeah, Atlantic time.
Atlantic time.
Crazy.
It's 12 o'clock somewhere, Randy. Get it, my man. So here's the deal, guys. FXAHO halted down. As I mentioned, we've got a couple of leveraged ETFs here, AAOX and AXTX. The bottom left of your screen, you'll see BFLY, and this is a former runner. It's a former convict. It's one that we know a lot about. It has these outsized days. It's coming in a little bit right now with this bottoming tail coming in at 8 3/4, showing 8 4/5. I like VWAP hold here, but we're going to have to change trend to get involved, right? Because we're putting in a bunch of lower highs, lower lows. We're going to keep a close eye on that one. As I mentioned, OUST, a holdover, gotten a little bit more expensive now, is oust. But there you go, flat top breakthrough 53.50. It was accumulating there in the pre. It was accumulating there after the bell, and there it goes through that level at 10.45. So this one could see $55. If it really catches a bid, we'll see what 60 has to offer. KIDZ, kids. You know, we're going to be calling this one kids just because it's easy to say, but you know, don't come with any funny jokes in the chat there, Joey. But $1.25 is where the volume weighted average price is hanging out, but this is a prolonged downtrend after making that 168 high a day. That is the high, but we've been suffering here below 131 1/3, I would say, for a little bit of time. RXT looks a lot more momentum prone to the high side, 657 showing 647 now. Above the 10 EMA on the 5, I pick up something off that green line. Should it come in, then last but not least, ELAB. As I mentioned, guys, the pickings are slim today in small cap gapper land. So you're going to notice a lot of these patterns don't look all that great, but that is the best the market has to offer us today. So we're going to keep an eye out on these ones. We'll see what's up, Joe.
Good stuff, man. Robinhood up to 116 today, guys.
Loose.
Yeah, so not too bad of a look there. We had a nice W here on DRAM. Obviously, we could have capitalized a little bit more on it, but we'll take it for what it is. If it continues to grind, then like, hey, okay, so that was a good out, right, guys? So we were building a position, and we were talking about this throughout the day. Oh, my God, fantastic. Gotta love this stuff here. Anyways, aside, we could talk about it on the 5-minute time frame. There's not much of a difference, but I'll get that pulled up for you momentarily.
Pull up.
So guys, here it is, right? So we start break of the volume weighted average price. Then I add actually through the pre-market high break, comes back against me, but it was about 30% of what I've had on this position. And then we actually double it up here, and then I add more for the break of $66 up here. So you can see I have 3 adds plus my original entry. And then once it broke through that support level, I'm like, you know what? It's not doing what I want it to do. So let's get out. So we end up locking this in. You can see these specific additions and like an initial entry. We take off. That one was slightly under the water, but nothing substantial, okay? So we walk away profitable on that one. We did end up taking a loss on TSLA, which ended up working if I was just a little bit more patient and took that second entry. And then also with Meta, I'm not even aware of what Meta is actually doing at this point, and I'm not too worried about it. I want to focus on SpaceX here, guys, and getting in another potential entry here on DRAM, because if it's worked once, I may as well continuously go back to the names that have been working for us. Now, we can head over to our watch list momentarily before we send it back to Sharif, and then we'll take a look at some options activity later once some things start to cool down and we start to form the base or a base that we're looking for in specific names. Now, here's NVDA, right? Bouncing off the volume weighted average price. This is going to be a key inflection point. Are we going to break lower, or are we going to get a bounce and maybe head towards the high of the day? Now, as for Apple, up 1.3%, and SpaceX was almost down 1.5% here. But what we do have, Gaurav, I seen you in the chat earlier. I haven't seen you. I tried tagging you. It didn't work. Are we going to look for this to hold up? I think so. This can give us a possible green light entry here on SPCX, which I'm looking to do right now, even though we're starting to sell. There's a shelf at 161. If that holds up, then that's going to be our green light to go, and we'll start relatively small, can always build into a position and hope for the best, and that would be a move back towards the volume weighted average price. Now, as for Broadcom, a name that was down 27% off its highs, really starting to gain some ground here this morning, guys. Now up 3.99%, closer, we'll just call it 4 flat, but you're still down 25%. So, I mean, that's hefty. This gap down was pretty hectic, and as a shareholder, anyone who's buying in this 400 area, that's a hefty pullback there, guys, down 27% in Broadcom.
All right, here we go. Lucy's accumulating. Guys, sorry, I didn't even mention Lucy. Thank you, chat, for fact-checking me on that. I did see Lucy in the pre-market, but I don't know why it wasn't showing up on the scanner there. Punk. But anyway, LUCY, guys, not a bad looker here. It's zigging, it's zagging. It's having a lot of trouble with $1.30. There seems to be a pretty convicted seller at that $1.30 area. And even when we got above there in the pre-market at 820, we were really quick to lose that level. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to pick up something off the 10 EMA. Right now, it might not give it to me. The 10 EMA is showing me 118 right now. We're showing 123. So here's the deal. We're going to work in with half the position with a view to adding should this one dip. So let's just go ahead and front run that. We're going to put it at 19s. And quite frankly, now that I'm looking at it, it should be ahead of that. It should not be 19s. It should be in front of 20. 20 is a clear area of resistance here, at least on the one. So I'm going to go ahead. I used to ride on 22s, Joey.
Did you?
Yeah. My car had 22.
Nice.
So now we're going to put the level at 22.
Okay.
Right? So there we go. We're going to keep a close eye here on LUCY. It's got to hold above the 113 level. That's the volume weighted average price. So in a position here, into Lucy at 123. Let's see how this goes. Ivan, 130 is 200 SMA daily. Clean that and ... That'd be nice, Ivan, man. Let's see if that can do it. If you're wondering who am I talking to, this imaginary person in the chat called Ivan. His name is Computronet, okay? And I only know his name was Ivan because I asked him. Shout out to my man Ivan. Anyway, Lucy to 169, easy, set, and forget, says Ozan. Man, I had a great time with Ozan.
I heard, man.
We went out for some Cajun food.
Yeah?
Yeah, man. Your boy got the crawdaddies.
Yeah?
Yeah, man.
Damn,
they're like
man.
little lobsters, but they're like, mini, right? You just gotta break them. You gotta 5-finger, 10-finger in.
Crawfish, man.
Crawfish, yeah. Crawdaddies, they call them. The mud dwellers. Yeah, right? So we had a good time there, me and him. We went out for some Cajun food near Sundance Square.
Okay.
Let me tell you, bro.
Yeah, you like
Fort
Texas.
Worth, a triple star.
No!
Okay, dude.
Yeah.
Walking downtown Fort Worth and then walking downtown Toronto.
Yeah.
As my friend who filled in for me last week would say, distinctly different.
Very different.
0 in the way of vagrancy.
Yeah.
0 in the way of dirt and garbage and anything
I'm
nasty
telling
on
you,
the floor,
surprisingly so.
Excellent. Great
Dude,
state of
and
Texas.
I had the same opinion. I think Dallas is a little bit of a different story.
I didn't
but
go
I had
to
the
Dallas.
same opinion about Chicago. Very, very clean. Very, very clean. Here, not so clean.
No. And it never used to be that way. People used to call Toronto the clean New York.
Yeah.
If you remember that.
Where is our tax money going?
Well, your friend over there, she's got
She's
some
too busy
different
doing
ideas.
sue. She's doing sue.
Is she being sued?
No. Like,
Sue.
Yeah,
I didn't see that.
Let
Did
me
she
say
sue?
something. This is crazy.
Go.
She did that. Olivia Chow has been outside more than I have
That's
this
crazy.
summer.
How are you going to allow that, man?
Dude, I remember I told you I
How you
seen her
gonna
at
allow that?
back-to-back events.
I love
Like, what is this girl doing?
Sue. All right, man. It was great times. Loved it. It was more stories to come on that, obviously. We'll get to it as the show goes on. You should go to the Cowboys Red River next time, says Vinny. Can I say something to you guys? Yeah. I drove 4 hours between Dallas and Houston, and I saw green landscape as green as Southern Ontario. But you guys have no bodies of water.
Yeah.
Where is all this greenery coming from? Is it just like the perennial rain that they get off the Gulf? Mm-hmm. I have no idea, but very, very impressive. Anyway, let's get right back to trading here. We're still involved in Lucy, trying to hang out at the 10 EMA on the 5 with a 130 resistance. So keeping a close eye out on that. Let's see how this cookie crumbles. OTLK, I'm being told here by somebody in the chat, but he's gotta chill out there with the spamming, okay? So OTLK still down 1/3%, but it's trying to go green above 145. Nice V-shaped recovery on that. What is it? OTLK, it's Outlook Therapies, $232 million market cap. Thank you for mentioning that to the individual there in the chat. Spamming it, we had to look at it, but trade this one carefully. DXPXSHXT, Sharif. You've got to visit Austin and check out the KG barbecue. Really good Egyptian and Texas barbecue. That's crazy. I'd love to have that, man. But I was just in love with the fact that a lot of the Texas cities are all on that triangle. So it's kind of a triangle shape of the highway that connects, say, San Antonio, right? Houston, and then the Metroplex. Dallas, Fort Worth, Arlington in the north, and then Austin's along the way into some of those. So I just thought it was super interesting how you guys had that triangle connecting all the cities. And that's the thing, eh? The Metroplex, I knew nothing about this till I got down there.
What is this?
It's basically all the cities in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. That includes Arlington, Irving or whatever, all the other cities involved in that as well.
Yeah.
Way bigger than Toronto, way more populated than the GTA. I'm comparing GTA to Metroplex.
Okay.
Right?
I see what you're saying.
Just way less dense, so sparsely populated, right? Because everything.
It's more spread out.
It's more spread out.
More spread
right? But huge nonetheless. So
yeah,
super,
everything is literally bigger in Texas.
It really is.
I love the state, man. We love the state. We love Texas over here. Sir,
Great
when are you
state
going
of
to come back to Texas? Come to Dallas for work? Hey, listen, I think I'm going to make it to Austin. At some point, maybe even this year. Yeah, to be honest, I might even end up there. Anyways, aside from that, guys, that's my next trip there is either Austin or Myrtle Beach. So we'll see what we got going on. I know a lot of people talking about Netflix. We're at 76.50 on this one. We're down 1.4%, but a whole lot of green here today, opposite of the Playboi Carti album there. Adara, a whole lot of green across the board, and this is what we want to see. We're up 0.7%. The Nasdaq up 1.5% here today, even though we're still within this compression pattern. There's something to keep an eye out on. USO still holding up. Gold, silver even positive here, and NVDA up 0.4%, with XLK actually up 2%, right? So keep an eye out on that. Head over and take a look at what Meta's been up to. Has it found a bottom? It looks like for now, we are currently up 1.33%. There comes SpaceX in, Gaurav. I like that you're mentioning that. Now, let's see if this is going to be a good entry point or we're just going to continue on this downward trajectory. All right, I don't want to be fighting the trend. We will take a stab at it. We know Katina Man's long, you're long, SpaceX as well, which I think is a good play. Michael Burry shorting AMAT, so maybe this roller coaster ride is coming to a slight end as we are now down 20% off of the highs in Applied Materials, looking for a bounce off of this trend. Oh man, just because he's short, listen, I wish that this would just go absolutely parabolic. Why? Because I'm a shareholder of it. Caterpillar, he's short as well too, which I think is, man, if you're going to at some point, I think up here is the idea to do so, not in the middle of this run. It's been climbing for over a year, so I can justify it. Just hopefully it's not too deep of a pullback. Shout out to all the Caterpillar shareholders who have been absolutely rocking and rolling. And here goes Robinhood. Up another 3 1/3 today, guys. So we're going to look at this point. I believe we're going to break this 120 mark probably by the end of the week. And then at that point, we're down 20%, which isn't bad. And a name that was cut in half at one point. Okay, so we'll keep that in the back of our mind. And Palantir was down 60% at one point as well, starting to find somewhat of a recovery. So from peak to that to this pivot, 50%, I should say. So it was hit just as bad as some of these other fintech names, the SoFis and the Robinhoods. Completely different space. I understand that, but now it's starting to find somewhat of a bottom here.
All right, thank you so much, Tisha Perkins, DOG, for the $10 super chat. Tisha, also watching for a pot squeeze on LHSW at some point. You are not wrong at all about that, Tisha. I'm feeling a little bit off today because I missed this one and Lucy from my morning, just quick search there. So this is a fantastic looking pattern. And what I like more about it, Tish, is that it runs over multiple days. This is Thursday's aftermarket price action. So you had the breakout there at around 4:45 in the afternoon on Thursday. And then look at how it continues to hold trend, almost strictly, quite frankly, including aftermarket Thursday price action. So it continues to hold the higher lows. And by the way, just to show you that the price action is continuing to hold over from last week into this week, look at that $5 area we had trouble with at 4:25 in the morning, the same area that we had trouble with at around 7 o'clock on Thursday. So it ended up taking that area, obviously. My look here, Tish, is that this one, as soon as it makes an intraday high, it is quick to retrace. Case in point, 4:25 a.m., boom down. Again, 7:05 a.m., boom down. We're going to do this again. 9 a.m., boom down. 10:20 a.m., boom down. So if this makes an intraday high, I would not be looking to add into the position. I'd be looking to take money out because it's almost certainly going to retrace. There's nothing certain about this game. I take that back. Anything can happen here. But, with, let's just say, the odds on our side here that it does that. So we'll put LSHW on the side chart. LHSW, pardon me. And we're going to keep an eye out on this one. I could be interested here if it holds 575 and or if it takes out 661. So if it drops down, holds 6 to 575, I'm interested. If it takes out prior area high at around 660, I'm also interested there. But while I tell you about that, let me please tell you about this as well.
Ooh.
Quick reminder, Trader TV Live members get Sharif's, mine, daily morning research note every single trading day that I am here. The big market stories, the key levels, the trade plans, the catalysts, and what we're watching into the open. It is only $4.99 a month, and you also get members-only videos, posts, custom emojis, and loyalty badges. Hit the join below the video now to become a member, and it wouldn't be a morning read, Tiffany, unless I showed the actual morning note itself. So here is the SpaceX one. Here is Meta. You can already see is working away for the afternoon segment. And then you get the technical section, which give you 3 areas of support and 3 areas of resistance on the 15, 3 areas of support and resistance on the 4-hour, which we call the swing context. You get a bias, a short-term bias, a medium-term, a long-term bias, and then you get the trade plan, what levels to watch out for, what volume, catalyst to watch out for, and then the execution mindset so you can go into this with the right mentality. Thank you for whoever is joining. All right, Joey, we're in 2 trades right now. We got Lucy trying to curl up here into 1 1/4. We're trying to take some prints, and we got BFLY knocking the door at 9. Got a couple of prints on this one, but still unprinted at 99, and there it goes through 9. Now we're looking for a bigger move up. I'm looking for 905. Shout out to the area code. And I'm looking for 911. Because I like that number. Do you like number 11?
Yeah, I like number 11.
11. There's a story behind that to come later.
All right. Was that a Texas thing?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Gaurav, here it is, brother. I mean, I don't know what I'm doing. I said if it's worked once, it might work twice here. And sure enough, DRAM did put in a beautiful signal for us to go long. Instead, we try to take the long here on SpaceX. And whatever we just made on DRAM, we unfortunately give a little bit back. It might be one of those sessions where it's not going to find a bottom and continuously sell, which I think is right because I do have a significantly lower price target on this bad boy. On SpaceX, I think 159 is a little bit too much right now for it. To be honest with you, I'm talking about 125s, 130s maybe. So we're going to give back the majority. This was just a bull trap, in my opinion. I don't know how you guys feel about this. Yeah, there goes DRAM. Why do I always do this to myself, Sharif? Why do I
Let's talk it through.
Okay.
Talk it through.
Okay, yeah.
What the situation here?
The situation was I had a nice winning trade on DRAM. Should have took the additional entry here at 64.70 right off of those lows. Why? Because there's multiple things. There's a signal and a key support level at that marker. And then instead, I'm like, you know what? No, I want to get involved with SpaceX for whatever reason. I haven't traded it today. And my primary watch list I wanted to focus on here all day was DRAM. And I've taken 1 trade on DRAM and 3 on other names. Yeah.
I like that $65 level as resistance. Do you think if it clears, given what it did, look at your entry there, your 3rd entry.
This one right there.
That's the one. You got it off 65, correct?
Yeah, absolutely.
And so look at your first entry.
Yep, 65,
where was that?
65, baby.
Something tells me 65 is important here, Joey.
Yeah, so you're thinking it might be what was once somewhat of a support level looking like can act as a resistance zone.
But what if it ends up clearing out 65 again?
Then we're rolling. But what we are rolling right now is finally SpaceX working for us. All right, Lele, what's up? What's up, girl?
Lele.
Thank you all. My trading since January has given me income now. I am on track to make $50K by the end of the year just trading from home.
Man, can I say something?
I got my thing, man.
I'm very happy for Lele, man. Shout out to Leandra, man. Just don't call her Leanna. Don't do it. Shout out to Leandra, man. We love having you around, Leandra, not just because you're making money, but because you also have a great disposition.
See that video? Oh, no, you didn't watch any of the videos I sent you.
I went to sleep.
I know, man.
Brother, I promise I'll catch up on them today.
All right, no worries, man.
But I also wanted to mention, man, met Ozan.
Yeah, how is
right?
Yeah,
met
you got a picture
Dave,
with him?
Texas trader, Texas Texas Jets fan.
Yeah.
Dave Velasquez,
Yeah.
right? We got for breakfast before the Canada game, right? Met two different viewers.
No way, man.
One at
My
the
dream.
Egypt game, Yusuf. He says, "What's up to you?" He's an options trader.
Yeah, what's up,
Yeah,
Yusuf,
shout out to my man
man?
Yusuf, who grabbed me in the bathroom line.
No.
I had no idea who this
I mean,
was.
yo.
I was just like, "Who are you?" I was sitting there staring at his face. I'm like, "Do I know this guy from my childhood?"
Yeah.
Because I saw a lot of my friends at the Egypt game from Toronto,
No
right?
way.
Like, yeah, childhood church friends, right?
Okay.
And so I'm like, "Do I know this guy?" And also met a great trader at the Sundance Fair on the 4th. Fantastic. And he says, "What's up to you as well?"
Man.
Shout out to my man, Jesse.
What's up?
Right?
Martinez?
No.
Oh.
Hernandez.
Yeah.
No.
Man.
And they're both great
You got a
traders.
picture
Both
of
of them. I got pictures with all of
Ozan?
them.
You got
all
a picture of the Ozan? Let me see
Every
this guy
single
again,
one.
man.
Ozan?
Yeah.
We're going to do all of them later.
Yeah, but it's like, no, I'm not going with everyone. Come on, man. You got to
gonna-
show me it
we're gonna-
at least. As we're
Joe, we gotta
as what
filter
was
these
once
pictures
working
here.
for us here on SpaceX is no longer doing so. Man, yeah, I've got to stop beating yourself up about it. Obviously, I'm not.
Where's my
I'm not gonna
man
be
there?
doing that. But anyways, Tesla back at the high of the day. Hood 116. Let's see, Ozan.
Ozan.
That's Ozan.
Ozan.
That's crazy.
Love Ozan.
My
Sorry, continue.
That's Ozan. What's up, bro?
Great
Hey,
guy, man.
Let me see
I
Ozan.
love
Let me see it
Ozan,
again.
bro. Oh, we're going to show all these pictures.
Yeah,
after, I
Ozan,
swear,
brother.
yeah.
Listen, you got to
Love
join the.
Ozan.
I think where you're currently sitting at right now, Ozan, you have to join the brotherhood, man. It's about that time.
No,
It's
no
all like,
longer.
hey, man, yeah, you know I love
Sorry.
Ozan. But guys, this was the signal in which I shoulda, coulda, woulda, and what is gonna
That is?
haunt me for the rest of my days. Obviously, being highly sarcastic, but was this print right there, Gorev? This was my green light to go. Instead, I decided to mess around with SpaceX off of those lows, forming a consolidation off the base. Green signal, much better than red signal. And it also just really eliminates the amount of entries that you would. Love you, Sean. So shout out to him. We love you too, Ozan.
Yeah, he's a big fan of Sean.
Is he?
By the way.
Yeah, he loves
Ozan,
Sean. Yeah.
big fan of Sean.
6470, all the way up to 6510. That was a primetime Deion Sanders entry. Unfortunately, we missed it. Now we're sitting in some SpaceX, which I do believe momentarily is going to break down.
Down. There goes Lucy. Joseph frickin' Wilson, here we go. We're ripping now. And by ripping, I mean like we're 15 pennies in the money. We were. There it goes, added nicely. This is a new high a day. It is not the best print we've had on the actual day because that belongs to the print at 8:20 a.m., which is $1.37. But this 135 print that we just got there, that is the official intraday high because it took place during regular market hours. So we're going to take that print and looking for more. Quite frankly, I'm looking for $1.50. And if we clear that $1.50, I'm looking for $2. So we're going to see what Lucy ends up doing today. New intraday high, but look for a possible retracement here. I'm not saying that Lucy has a tendency like LHSW to retrace off intraday highs, but just be careful. There could be some selling here on LUCY. How's this one doing? BFLY, we're in at 90, showing me 92. We took a couple of prints, but we're still suffering from the same affliction that we were suffering from earlier. That is the inability to clear $9 as a technical area of resistance, at least decisively anyway. So I'm going to continue to watch that. We'll continue to try to defend this area here. But let me tell you something. It loses 8 3/4, which is the area low. I'm out. Simple as that. We're not going to fall in love. So whether you're looking at it on the 5-minute or the 1-minute, you're getting multi-time frame, confirmation here, which is this is the area low on the 5. It's also the very clear area low on the 1. 876 ends the trade for me there, Joey.
All right,
should
good.
it fail to advance to 9.
Yeah.
Lucy. Lele, I am with you on Lucy. Explain to me, Lucy. I like that. Get it, Lele. I didn't watch that show all that much, but I did like it. Explain to me, did you know that Lucy Ball was the producer of Star Trek? I had no idea. No, I did not know that. Good to know, though. More information. Ahmed, 1683. Do we have a chance against Argentina tomorrow? My man, all I can say is Cape Verde. That's all I can say about that. They almost They stunned the world. They almost stunned the world. They did stun the world, okay?
Yeah,
Playing that well against multiple good teams, and in fact, the reigning defending champs themselves, taking them to overtime, or in this case, we say extra time.
Extra time.
Right? That's the thing, though, Joey, right? If they had that kind of ability, hey, man, I don't put it past Egypt. I think Egypt's dynamic's a little bit different. I don't think they play the same way as Cape Verde, so I'm pumped, man. Bring it on. Bring on
the
Let's
smoke.
go.
And that's huge for you guys. Round of 8 now, right?
No, this is round of 16.
Yeah, 16 still. Yeah.
So if Canada had won, it would have been the round of 8. So that was a round of 16 game. But the Egypt versus Australia was round of 32.
Yeah, fair enough, man. Oh, no. Yeah, we're going to send things off to Adara. DRAM, it's unfortunate, but listen, guys, when I say like, oh, I'm kicking myself, I'm truly not. You know why? Because there's always going to be a bigger and a better trade. Don't forget that, guys. We're sitting here, we're doing this all day, every day. There's going to be multiple opportunities. Next thing, all we got to do is make sure we're a little bit better. When the opportunity does arise, we have to take advantage of it. Let's send it over to the desk.
It's time to take a look here at the European markets as they close. Here with us to take us through that European close and maybe what to expect for the next Euro session is Juan.
Thank you so much, Adara. A huge weekend of football, right, Sharif? But anyway, let's talk about the European markets at the close here. Okay, so after some all-time highs on Friday, we were off on Friday for the 4th of July holidays, but Europe was not, so we got some all-time highs on Friday. We see here today on Monday at the close that they've pretty much done a little bit of profit-taking. Take a look at stocks, Euro 600, down by 0.42%. They eased lower. Tech trimmings, a little bit of profit taking from domestic sector. Even in the Euro Stoxx 50, about 0.3% down, supported by, of course, some core manufacturing blocks as well as stabilizing domestic cyclicals. France also not looking too bad, but down by 0.36. In the red because of luxury sectors consolidating and also French industrial lines tracking, of course, broad European cooling. But main story from the European region as a whole, we see a lot of AI rotation steering that of the capital. Portfolio managers basically cutting AI and as well as semiconductor stakes. Most of the major indices, of course, edging down from their historic peaks on Friday. Because of that early week profit taking. But in Germany, that was the only one in the green, up by 0.13%. Basically, the main story from Germany is that the program for economic recovery and employment that was launched by the German Chancellor last week, that's pretty much bringing everything to the upside. There's a lot of talk about corporate bureaucracy and enhanced labor flexibility. So that lifted Frankfurt's industrial as well as domestic stocks overall. But now for the week, all eyes are going to be on the Fed minutes as well as central bank statements. So it's going to be a light calendar week this week in Europe. But like I said, everyone's looking forward to the ECB speeches as well as that Fed minutes to confirm whether or not there's going to be any autumn rate cuts upcoming.
Yeah, stay tuned, guys, and also stay tuned at 3:30 p.m. and we'll hear from Juan once again, this time about the Asian markets. See you then.
Great information, Juan. Love to hear that you're doing the Asian session now. Good luck, especially with the importance, of course, as we've seen, of the Korean stock market lately anyway with the microchips. But there goes FXHO ripping through the official high of the day. Of course, we still are below that pre-market high that we put in, I want to say, at 5:05 a.m., which is 2614, 1961 now. Official market high, and it is now taken the price action above the volume weighted average price. We're still trading below $20 though. 1961 high, 1937 is the price we're currently at right now, but I'm seeing this one trying to make another move back up. Let's load up FXHO here on a trading screen and get a gander of what is good. So FXHO, as I mentioned, FXHO on the NQ. Yes, okay. So now let's watch this trade for a little bit. This is going to be the first time on the day that I actually see the price action on this one develop. Limit up, currently it's 20.02. Limit down, 16.38. So here comes $20 again, 1961 high. It was 1935, so we just printed a new high a day. There's a buyer here locally at around $19, and there it goes into 1980, 2002 limit up, guys. So this one could find 2023 now limit up. The spread is opening up substantially. It's 75 pennies now. It tightens up, it opens up. So if you're looking at managing the cost of doing business, you got to pick something up when it is in a tight range. Okay, so be on the lookout here. $19 buyer, but this one can flip the script and down it goes into 17.55. Quick as we were knocking on the door of 20, as quick as this one lost dollars at a time, man, that is ugly. Up 154%. Funny enough, we haven't even breached prior bar low. That's the funny part. Well, I don't want to say it's funny, but you know, it's the interesting part about it, of course. Current bar low, 1748. Prior bar low, 1667. So even though we have a lower high, we're still holding trend. If you were to get in here, you could give it to 1667. Of course, you would have to account for your risk management, meaning share size would have to be adjusted here. So continuing to watch this one, Joey. FXHO, I could try my hand at this and give it to 1667 just to hold trend. I'm sending it to you.
Good stuff, man. All right, brother. So this is what we had going on. We were all upset about this SpaceX, but now I think I have more reason to worry about it now, Gaurav. Why? Because we got that move, right? I mean, I should have posted up some orders and took some off up here right at this resistance zone. That's acting as support. Excuse me, and then you can see that it just absolutely tank city on this one. So we're still slightly above water on it and slightly profitable, but up here would have been significantly more as we almost entered the $1 entry on, or sorry, $1 club on this specifically. So let's see if we can find some form of a rebound on it, guys. Robinhood's still moving higher. Am I going to move to some of the fintech names? I actually want to see what SoFi is up to. I very rarely traded SoFi. But SoFi looking pretty good today, okay? So here it is, multiple indecision prints south of the volume weighted average price on a strong bull trend. I like the look of that. Now, what happens next is gonna be really important. Are we gonna double top at this $19 marker, or are we going to break through and then take that additional leg higher, which would lead us to that next step potentially? And I'm not saying here today, but this is gonna be a key pivot point for SoFi at 1965. You got something going on. Do you want to go?
FXHO's ripping, Joey.
Is
it's
it?
ripping, man. Here we go. Joey, we're $2 in the money on this one. 2086 limit up. We're showing 71. This could halt.
Bang.
Okay, 2086 limit up, guys. 55 showing up. We need another 30 pennies to hit that halt parameter. We're out of half the position. Biggest trade of the day so far. Watch out for the rejection at 20 and a big move back down, Joey. 2112 now, limit up.
Good
so
stuff,
we got to
man.
get through that 20.
All right, brother. Good stuff. One, no way. I got SpaceX long as well at 1620, looking for the 116 hold. Or sorry, 160.20. What am I at? 160.13. Yeah, we need this level, this 160 to hold. I would love to aim for the volume weighted average price.
Willis.
Excuse me, but I think that might be a little bit too optimistic at this point because why? We just have a consistent downtrend and we don't have any 5-minute candles on the backside of that. But DRAM is definitely the play here. Okay. There we go, Juan. There we go, my boy. There we go, Gaurav, what is your entry point on this bad boy? We need to punch through this 161, but right now we have no volume stepping in. And that's what I want to see following this break of this key pivot and through this resistance zone. Something that was once support, now clearly acting as resistance, and hopefully we don't reject it too aggressively.
I'm good.
You're good?
Your screen, yeah.
Oh, okay. Just seeing what's going on here. Yeah, let's get. Yeah, I mean, let's get it, brother. If we can sit on top of this edge, then I'm gonna look for that next point of around 162 even. I want to hold this, the size that I have right on here, not the craziest amount of shares. So that's gonna be allow me to relax a little bit and hold it for a bigger move. Okay. So that's my narrative on this bad boy. We're still negative on the day in SpaceX. So let's see if buyers step in momentarily. DRAM having a nice pop, and the market has just been a nice steady grind higher. This is what we want to see. The SPY not too far off of all-time highs. The Dow Jones, I believe, did the Dow hit a new all-time high today here, Sharif? What did hit a new all-time high today, and we were talking about it earlier,
TIA
was CrowdStrike.
It is the new all-time high,
Yeah, it did.
my
It
man.
tapped into a new all-time high.
Yep.
The IWM not too far off of those levels as well, too, Sharif. So, hey, man, Nasdaq, usually the best performer, but out of the major averages, the Dow, the IWM, the S&P, and the Nas has been the worst performer, hit by some of these tech names.
Yeah, man. So yeah, here's the deal. So the Dow, these are the ETFs, of course. So don't fault me for calling the DIA the actual Dow index, but we're just going to speak about it on these terms. The DIA up 10 1/3. The Q's, Joey, 18 and a fifth.
This is YTD, right?
YTD, yeah. SPY, more than 10 1/3, and then far and away, Joseph Options, and I know you know this already because I mentioned it last week.
Yeah.
Far and away is the IWM, my cup of tea. Funny enough, my intraday cup of tea, not merely my long-term cup of tea. IWM Russell 2000 ETF doubling every other major average on the year, up 22.1%. It is the Russell's world. We are all just living in it. And there goes Lucy. We're back in. So we exhausted our shares, guys, up here. I fat-fingered at 131. So I got back in, defended that fifth of a dollar, and there it goes right back into 29.30. I'm looking for a little bit more. I want a 135 break and take. If we can get that, that would just be aces. So we're going to continue to watch that. The trade I'm displeased with is BFLY. Funny enough, I'm just back break even on this one. But this one keeps rejecting 9. Fine. Not a good thing to be long something that keeps rejecting a level. The other side of that coin is we have higher lows here. So we did defend that 880 level, 885, let's say. Prior area low, was 875. So be on the lookout for that. And then we exhausted all our shares there into the area high on FXHO. Alas, it is back into 20, and it's looking to do some more damage to the shorts here. Shorts, watch out for this one, okay? I'm not saying this is not a good short. At some point it will be. But watch out here, okay? It's accumulating for 20, and if this one catches a bid, you could see it at 26 sooner rather than later, because that was the pre-market high this morning. Something tells me it may test that level again. Anyway, up. Bless you, Joey.
Sorry, guys. Oh, man.
Bro, you're going to apologize for sneezing.
Well, and I sneezed right in the mic.
Oh, that's not good. Then we got to apologize to Tiffany.
Yeah.
Sorry about that, Tiffany. 2156. Limit up here on FXHO, Joey. Going to keep a close eye here. And there it goes again. 20.99 now. This is a new intraday high. So 21 on the dot. We're talking about FXHO. It continues to hold higher low bars. So even though it is moving dollars at a time and, it swings both ways here, the fact of the matter is the trend is still intact. It's holding the prior bar. Just by way of example, prior bar low is 17.48. You got to give it $2 because it's showing you 17.58 now, right? So if you're not willing to give it $2, it's probably not the trade for you, because you're just going to get stopped out prematurely and you're going to miss out on some possible profits here. Anyway, 21.56 limit up, 20.99 high day.
Good stuff, man. Yeah, I know, Juan. It's just not. Like, I thought that at this point here, this was strong, and then we just run right into that resistance zone. But then this candle was just a little bit too weak for my liking. Oh. Do I just take the cash and run at where I'm currently sitting at? I mean, but that's not the narrative, right? That's why I have a little bit less shares on right now to hold it for a larger move. But there's just not very much strength in it at all. And then we're just talking trend up here. Good opportunity on the Nas. Robinhood now up to 117. But here's the opportunity on the Nasdaq. At the end of the day, we're looking at a SpaceX inclusion in the Nasdaq as well, too, I believe, Sharif, which is some pretty good.
Sir. We knew that was coming, though.
Yeah, exactly. We knew that was coming. But here it is. Bang. Nice indecision print right at VWAP, and then off to the races it goes. And you're punching new highs of the day. Robinhood right there. Now, a beautiful recovery off of the lows on DRAM. But now what we have is just some buying pressure that I'm not in love with. okay? So what we'll do is we'll just draw our basic trend line, and if we do, and if we're fortunate enough to have a 5-minute candle sit on the backside of this, then that might give us a little bit more working for us for the potential long, but we can just see it's completely trend down at this point, and it's just trapping bulls like myself within this trade, because what I do believe is, look how quick this happened, right? So let's do a minute from 11:19 to where, so 20 minutes, 23 minutes, right? And then look where we're sitting at 23 minutes from signals being printed on SpaceX, okay? So the longer things take to work out, the less that I actually like them. Even though you don't want to be over analyzing and micromanaging your position, just from an experience standpoint, when you have your entry, the quicker it works, the better, obviously. Thanks, Captain Obvious. But in all seriousness, when things chop around, what that just shows me, and even on a bigger picture and a bigger time frame, when I see the Nasdaq in the morning chop around for an hour, I'm like, oh, okay, they're just accumulating before they have a break. And right now, we've had 20 minutes of just moving sideways in SpaceX, and we haven't had that pullback back towards the volume-weighted average price. Could I be wrong in the fact that it may go there? Yes. But I have confidence in what I've gained over the years, is that I wouldn't be surprised if we reject 161 and put in a new low of the day momentarily. For the long sake, I hope that I'm wrong, but the way it's looking right now doesn't seem to be the case.
All right, just give me a sec.
Yeah,
here,
absolutely. See, you guys, you can see that it's breaking down right now, and now we have another trend line that's just something that we have to battle. Okay, so if we get a 1 minute happen to sit on the backside of it, then maybe we'll be okay. But this curl over after this engulfing print on low volume, and quite often I talk about effort and result. Okay, look at the size of this candle, but then look at the volume. Not very much effort in a result where it's like, okay, the sellers probably just took their foot off the brake. That doesn't mean we're strong. Right? This is just a potential trap into some resistance zones, and you can see that we're struggling to punch through key areas right now.
All right, man. Shout out to my man, Jin Weiwei. He's dropping 70. I can read, I promise. 70 new Taiwanese dollars in the chat. Long time no see. Shout out to my man, Jin Weiwei. What's going on, brother? I hope you had a good weekend. I was going to say long weekend, but I know you're in Taiwan. So unless you guys had a long weekend over there, I hope you had a fantastic weekend and everything is going good on your side. No comment there attached, but here we go on Lucy again into 129. We're going to wet the beak here because this one has had trouble taking out 30 pennies. So taking out some profits here. Sold holding BFLY. FXHO, I'm looking for this one to clear into 23. I'm giving it a little bit of room. We've got some prints on this one. It's having trouble decisively holding above 21, at least, just recently. 21.84 the high, showing you a 21 seller right now. We did get a couple of prints on this one, but definitely looking for a little bit more, something more aggressive. I'm thinking 23, at least, as an initial move up. So we've layered the orders there. We'll see what how this cookie crumbles, pardon me. BFLY kind of continues to reject that $9 area. It keeps putting in higher lows, but there's no continuation aggressively through 9. So I did wet the beak. I did take some profits right around there as well. And then last but not least, we're keeping a close eye here on LUCY. This is getting multiple rejections at 130. So I don't know how to feel about this one. I like the higher low trend. You can clearly see that on the 5, on the 1, but you're definitely getting a lot of, convicted sellers at that 1 1/3 area. I'm just not sure how this cookie crumbles. I'm going to give it to local area low, which takes me below 120. If it loses that, then, I'm just going to get out there. Grunfeld. So for Lucy, you may have seen this, but 130 is the 200 EMA or MA on the daily chart, which is why it's acting as such strong resistance. Great call out by you, brother. Sometimes I just don't have the time doing everything on the show to actually go into wider time frame analysis. So it really is helpful when you guys tell me what it is on the wider time frame. Thank you for that. The big green candle. Thoughts on SoFi chart? You want to cover that?
Yeah,
SoFi,
absolutely.
because I know you're the one that has more convictions about SoFi hood than I do, really. Be honest.
All right, I should just full port all in leverage EOM hood calls for 128C. I like you. That's all I could say, man. It's curious. You're my type of guy, man. But I can't tell you to do that. All right, I'm all out of this SpaceX, guys. We'll take a small W. I just don't like the look of it right now. We can always enter back in. I'm not going to get into attached to one position. I just have the hunch that we're going to curl over and maybe head towards the low of the day. I could be wrong. And for Juan's sake and for Gorev's sake, I hope you guys can turn profitable on that one. But Casro, wow, 8823, man. Yeah, you're my type of people, brother. All love on that end. Yeah, now it's probably going to go now that I'm out of it. But anyways, we'll take a small W on it. It is what it is. Obviously, we'd like it up there. No, yeah, I mean, it is what it is, Wendy's, Tendies. Yeah, hey, man. You got to live with the decisions you make, and that's what I'm doing in full effect right now. As you guys can see, I'm wearing it on my face here, obviously being highly sarcastic. No way, DRAM. Oh yeah, that was it. Yeah, I mean, it broke through some of those levels. This thing is gonna go on another run. Sharif, you got to watch that video on. Sorry, I keep telling you about it, but that South Korean one, very interesting.
Right.
On what's got going on. No, I'm not holding it. I don't like it. I don't like it. It's that simple. We'll take the small W on it and we'll walk away. I do believe the way that it's looking right now that it's going to curl over and sell off. And if it goes past my entry point, and if it does hold up in around 159.60, well then I got out here just for a small W, and then we get in at a better price, okay? I just want to find things that are strong, and AMD was definitely one of them bright and early this morning, up 9%. It was up closer to 10. Now still holding up around the highs of the days. We also had NVDA up 0.8. It just can't put up a couple of percentage points a day, man. Just too much short interest involved with this. Now, Google up 1%. Bang, let's go. Google up 1%. Why didn't we just buy some more of this one, Tiffany and Assassino, man? We should have just been grabbing a whole heap of goggles and not messing around with anything else. But that's all right. We're sitting on some cash, guys. Full disclosure, I'm over 10% cash right now. So your boy's ready to rock and load on some potential entries in the long-term account. JP Morgan. I know Sharif asked me about JPM, SoFi, and I went on a rant about a bunch of other names, so we'll head over there. But as for JPM, still hovering around the highs, I like that one. Not too bad of a look there. And then now, we'll take a look at SoFi.
Get it, Joey.
SoFi. Yeah, it's strong today. I think you break through some of these pivot levels. It's been a strong session. You broke through the high of the day by a couple of cents, and then you started to come back in a little bit. Be patient on this one. I wouldn't be buying it all the way up here. She's pretty.
It's pretty. It's so pretty.
Oh, you got there on that one there.
Almost had a halt, Joey.
Oh.
Into 22.62 we go. 22.62 limit frickin' up. We're in at 1976. Go FXHO go. There's a seller here at 62, but that is the limit up. So, but keeps preventing us. There we go. Halt perimeter engaged. Oh, it moved up. Halt perimeter restarted. There we go. Up into 22.86, 23. Here we go. 23.12 limit up. That is the end of my trade. Boom! Into the freaking area high. That's a big trade here, man. It's a good one here, Joey. FX, and we doubled our position at that 19.75 that we had taken on the ad. Nice here on FXHO. This puts my day good. My day is good. 23.55 limit up. We've only done about 3 million shares of volume so far, guys. So be careful with this one. The spread very, very wide. There's another high of day. Oh my days. 23.24. This one's on its horse. And I really want to tell you guys, there is a good chance we get into that pre-market high at 5:05 a.m., the high of which I believe is 26 and change, 26 or 27, 26.14. So watch out for a $26 move here on this monster, 26.14. Wow, Joey, here comes 24, 23.79 now limit up. That is the new high of day, 23.79. It's showing a halt perimeter again here at 23.79. So be on the lookout for that. Oh, my days. What a move up here on FXHO. Good look, good look. Should have stayed in this one. I got stopped at a Lucy. So the market giveth. And of course, the market taketh away. But we're only out of a small percentage here. Dude, look at this.
Dude, where's my car?
Great movie, by the way.
Oh.
At literally the low. Like it feels good when you catch the beak wetter on the way up this way. It feels the exact opposite to get stopped out at the area low. That was literally, I got stopped out at the candle low on Lucy, but we're only stopped out at half the position. So we're still holding some here. We'll see if it regains trend.
Oh.
But my focus right now is going to be on BFL.
Sure. iTrash is moving higher here. I almost called you Katina, man. Sharif, brother, look, 3% to the top side for IBIT. All right, what's MSTR up to? 0.8%. All right, man. Yeah, boy, a little bit more than that. 0.7 now, my guy. But Bitcoin, what is going on here? There's a lot of volume supporting this.
You buying MSTR down here, Joey?
Well, I said if I was going to be buying something, I wouldn't buy in my port. I would buy MSTR over actual IBIT.
How about the preferred? You know those
there's no. The,
you don't want any fake divvy?
No, the fake divvy that he's going to have to sell Bitcoin in order to pay out. Dude, bro, I'm telling you.
Hold on. Does anybody feel like this is becoming pyramid schemey?
Yeah.
Like you got to take money from new investors to pay out the old investors? This doesn't feel pyramidish.
Dude, you should watch the video that I sent you.
I'm gonna. I swear to you.
I sent you 3 good ones. I went into a Bloomberg rabbit hole yesterday. I love rabbit holes, man.
Ichiro's like, shh.
Yeah. There goes SpaceX. Morning, Gorb. I'm glad that you guys held on.
Are we not talking serious here? Let's talk serious.
I'm talking serious.
He is forced to sell to pay the dividend or whatever he's calling it, the coupon that he promised on those preferred shares.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying it's a pyramid scheme in the strict sense because you're typically lying to your investors. You're saying, I made money and here is the proceeds of my money and here's your cut. When in reality, you just went and took money from some other schmuck, right?
What is the
and so in this case,
again?
it's not happening that way, right? He's not lying to anybody about what he's doing. Everything's in the open. But does it not feel like you need new money constantly to pay off the old money? I don't know, guys. Man. I don't like what I'm seeing here, man.
No, I don't like it either. I think he just got himself in a really tough conundrum, to be honest with you. I don't like it. There goes SpaceX.
I want to hear.
Listen, it's a different. It's a different story.
It is.
If Bitcoin's at $140,000.
100%, Joey. But
But it's not.
When Madoff, it would have been a completely different story for Madoff if he didn't have the GFC, my friend.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
No, 100%, bro. You can't be like off of what if. But the way Michael Saylor projected the way strategy was going to operate, he did it, and he displayed it through his guidance with the projection of Bitcoin being north of $150,000.
No, and he was selling that to institutional desks.
Like this thing's going to a quarter million. I heard everybody on CNBC at one point saying $250,000 by the end of 2025 for Bitcoin.
All right. Yeah, you're absolutely right. One of the guys. Hey, Yusuf.
What's up, Yusuf? Is that is it my boy? Where is he?
Let's shout out to my man Yusuf there. YSOREEL. Something YS.
Yo, so real.
Yeah, it was good seeing you. Fantastic seeing you as well.
I heard you gave me a shout out and say what up too, man.
Yeah,
What's
man.
up,
He knew all about it.
Man, that's
Here,
crazy.
I'm gonna show a quick picture of me and my boy Yusuf there at the stadium. There we go. There's my guy. Let's show Assassino. Should we do it on the
did he say it's all right? Can we show him?
Well, I told him I'll show him on the show. There's my man there, bro.
Kind of looks like you a bit, man. Let me see.
What does that mean? All Egyptians look alike?
No, you guys are handsome.
Bro,
that's crazy. I didn't know he was. I didn't know he was.
That's how it works. Huh?
I didn't know he was.
You see that? You guys saw that?
How come? Let me see the picture. I didn't even see it. This is crazy. Man,
we're having a good time, bro. Come on now, man. You think I'm sensitive like that, bro?
Oh no, he doesn't look like you.
He doesn't look like me at all.
Yo, you know who you actually look like? Mauricio Ruffi. I'm not gonna compare you to.
He's an awesome guy, bro.
Yeah, he looks pretty. He looks like a good guy, Mauricio Ruffi, man.
We're having a good.
Yeah, Joe.
We're having a good
Adam
time,
DeLuce and Neil were hanging out over the weekend as well.
Yeah, because Neil's in London.
Yeah, he's in London. He was in London.
Shout out to my man Adam. Not Adam James Abroad. all class Adam DeLuce. Not like the other guys, not all class. Well, they're both very classy guys. So shout out to my man. Shout out to both those guys. Joey, there's a lot happening right now. BFLY is above 9. More pleased I could not be. But let me tell you something. I'm very angry here with my trade on FXHO, despite the fact that it's far and away the biggest winner for me on the day, because I got out prematurely, and there it goes into $25. $25.89 limit up at $26.14, ladies and gents. The pre-market high that you need to concern yourselves with, because that level right there was as good as we could do intraday, pre-market, aftermarket, or otherwise. So be on the lookout for that 5 a.m. high. My other man named Adam James Abroad, saying TDTH. He asks, we look. Shout out to my man, Trident Digital. Light volume, 2.65 million shares traded on the day. Sporadic volume distribution, a lot coming in at 8 and a lot coming in at 10.50. Other than that, it's up nicely on the day to the tune of 13.33%, $8.5 million market cap with a float of 0 shares, Joey. All right. It looks like as if it's about 50 million, give or take. Sometimes it can be a little bit tricky with these ones, but yeah, not bad. I'd like to see it above volume weighted average price, Adam. Also, I'm not a big fan of these lower highs here, but something to definitely watch for it, because this one could get parabolic at a moment's notice, quite frankly. So how we doing here? We're doing well on Lucy, and we're doing well on BFLY. I may add a little bit more into Lucy. Ozan, bro, off hood. FXH. I'll say this guy. Man, very insightful individual, though. You need... Yusuf. No, Ozan.
Ozan.
Yeah. I didn't have much of a long conversation with what's
Yusuf.
it called?
Yeah.
With Yusuf. But Ozan, you need to have a long conversation with him, because he's going to open your eyes to this area of options that I think you'll really like.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's like very, I'm not going to say his strategy on the air, because it's strategy kind of his thing, right?
Yeah.
But very, very interesting.
Okay.
Especially
I'm always
using
open
the
ears.
Greeks,
Yeah.
like you like to use.
Yeah.
He does as well, but he has a bit of a different take about how he uses the Greeks in that case.
That's the beauty of it.
Insightful individual, Ozan Chili.
Beauty. Yeah, Ozan, you can DM me there, brother. Sorry, guys. I know I have a lot of DMs.
Yeah, even your boy Gorev thinks the same thing.
What's that?
About Ozan's strategy, insightful individual.
You know, has real insight. Yeah, okay, cool, man. I appreciate all that, man. I'm always open to new things.
Joseph options.
Yeah, I'm over here just fuming.
Man.
Oh well, you make decisions, you got to live with the consequence.
That's fine, Joey.
Yeah.
We're gonna do it live. Lucy is going. Dude, it's not letting me out of any
Lucy in the sky.
It decided, no.
There
we
it
don't
goes,
need
man.
watch out. There we go. Dude, it's not letting me out of any shares, man. This is consistently happening.
Make sure you have the thing.
Yes, I know. Look, it's right there. This is consistently happening.
No? Oh man,
Take
you're trapped now, my boy. You're trapped now, my boy.
All right.
Tesla high of the day, Robinhood high of the day, a lot of HOD. Oh, man, it's a whole lot of green on the session, guys. Everything to the top side today, with the exception of Applied Materials, INTU, and trash Netflix. There, SpaceX still slightly negative. Yeah, all we can do is just really sip our coffee and see what we got going on. Here's
I can't get out of
Here's Microsoft starting to, this is a consolidation. I do believe we're going to put in another leg higher. Got to be more patient with things. It's not micromanaging, but oh well, it is what it is. This would have been more ideal. Trump, China's cheat coming to White House towards end of September. All right, good stuff along those lines. So some more positivity coming out of the China-U.S. relationship. Now ARM Holdings down. Bro, I can't, I'm trying to be serious here, but I just hear you just going para on the keyboard. Are you still stuck in it?
Yeah.
That's crazy. 4.8% to the top side for
It just
Robinhood,
keeps
guys.
rejecting all my orders, and if I send this to the tech people, I'll be like, I was told I was the one that did something wrong.
Oh, okay. Well, we don't want that. 4.7% to the top side here for CrowdStrike as I put it in a new all-time high. PanW up 2.8%. Did we put in an all-time high today? Yes, sir, we did. Now CoreWeave How have you been performing? Real choppy stuff. It's just unfortunate that Meta is on the trajectory that it is, up 1.6% now. But a lot of it just due to this gap up. There's a lot of selling right out of the gate. So now I believe it's just in recovery mode. SanDisk, Western Digital. Yeah, I mean, they're not doing too much. No rebound just yet. But my missed opportunity was on DRAM off of the lows here. And then now, obviously, SpaceX. So, yeah, it is what it is, man. You know what? To be honest with you guys, on days where I do what I've just done and get out a little bit early or not take the trade, typically aren't my best ones. So maybe a little less activity coming out of my end here today. Neil's back tomorrow. Sharif?
Are we going to see you?
I didn't get anything.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think we're going to see you. Yep.
Oh, that's why.
Hello, welcome and good afternoon. Let's take a look at the three major averages before diving into what's going on today. The SPY currently up north of 0.80%. We have the triple Qs up a little bit closer to 1%. The Dow currently down, but in the red, but a little bit flat. However, I'm also going to start including the IWM and taking a look at it as well. The IWM is up 0.84% on the day. Let's take a look at what we're speaking about today. I'm talking about Bank of America has raised its price target for IBM to $330 from $315, which implies a 14% increase from its closing on Thursday. We have analyst Wamsi Mohan saying that he expects the global tech company to beat revenue expectations in its next quarterly release, which will be happening on the 22nd of July of this year. He's also noted that IBM remains sharply focused on Red Hat tech strength, progress on its Confluent integration, and also managing near-term dilution. So IBM is up about 1% this year, but it is underperforming compared to the S&P 500. And like I said, it's expected to report its earnings on the 22nd of July. Also, really quick here, small little note we're going to talk about Apollo Global Management. So GFL is accepting new offers. It's on the TXX, but GFL is accepting offers from private equity firms, including Apollo Management. And this is coming from people familiar with the matter and reported by Barron's. So with that, APO also up on the day, 2.4%. And with that, I'm sending it back to the guys.
Thank you very much for that, Sia. Great information there. I just want to show all the great people we met there, man. Let's bring it in over here. Say hello to everybody. Just give me 1 sec to load this up. Lucy's still going, guys, and it's looking quite fantastic. Here we go.
Who's that?
So this is Jesse. I met him at the Sundance. It's called, what is it called? Sundance Square in Fort Worth. Great guy, man. I'm walking by, I'm just looking at everything. He's like, "Are you from Canada?"
Wow.
I'm like, yeah. How do you know? Like, I was like, started looking at my clothing. I'm like, am I wearing Canada or something? He's like, Trader TV.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, right? Started talking with this gentleman. Thank you for being kind and great. This is Yusuf. This is at AT&T Stadium.
Love Yusuf.
I'm in the washroom where this guy jumps on me. I love this guy, man. Great energy. Shout out to my man Yusuf. This is at the Egypt versus Australia game. Then there's your boy Ozan. There's my man Ozan Chile. This guy, bro, he's deadly. Shout out to my man Ozan Chile. This is at the Cajun restaurant where we had. Man, great guy. He has 2 Teslas, by the way.
Does he?
Yeah, he has full self-drive.
Ozan's rich, man.
And then shout out to my man David, man. This guy, one of the most brilliant guys. This guy, he deals in SBA loans, Small Business Administration loans, makes a killing doing it, and then funnels all his money back into the market. He has 3 little boys, and he's breeding all of them to be as ambitious, if not more ambitious than him. Shout out to my man, Texas Jet Fans Trader. Great guy.
Texas Jet Fans?
Yeah, man. We went here at this local breakfast spot beside NRG Stadium. Fantastic guy, man. Loved meeting all of you. You guys are absolutely fantastic, man.
That's beauty, man.
I can't wait to meet more of you guys. You guys are honestly the real deal. And while we gawk over that, let's send you back to the big desk.
A couple of different stories to mention here. Alibaba, this is reported, and going back to June 24th, but seeing it circulate again. New York Times reporting now that Anthropic sent a letter to U.S. lawmakers with regards to Alibaba, the ABA, allegedly copying their AI. Separately, U.S. President Trump currently speaking at this Rose Garden luncheon. I did not have his schedule up today because it wasn't, for whatever reason, his Tuesday and Wednesday schedules were on the website, but I didn't see the Monday schedule. That's up, so I'll be posting that imminently. But either way, S&P 500 near highs. I'm sure President Trump will be very pleased as he does continue to speak. Back to you.
Thank you very much for that, Adara. Juan Padilla, nice work there. Gorov, nice work, man. Katina, man, nice work. Yeah, extremely. Yeah. Hey, it is what it is, man. We'll take it for what it is. Let's see if it heads back in towards VWAP. I think that's going to be another key inflection point for us here on SpaceX. But we had that bottom, and it decided to go a little bit longer. Just slightly more patient. Should have waited. But hey, man, came back to the break even. You take a small W on that. Ozan stating, he said, Joe, I am not rich. I am very rich. And get some of that, my boy. I'm sure you have enough of that pie to pass around. Sold Tesla calls, made my money, so I say it's enough for today. Even this Tesla will go. Yeah, congratulations on that, my friend. Continue to rock and roll. I want to be like that when I grow up. Blicky, you older than Sharif, aren't you, man? Come on, man, get that garbage out of here when you grow. Yeah, but I know the mindset. It's crazy when you look in the mirror at times. It's just like I'm 33, turning 34 in October, but I'm like, man. I still feel like 20, 25, 26, but it's not the reality. I know you don't like MACD, but look at this. Bart, how are you gonna tell me I don't like something until we don't have that here, to be honest with you. I couldn't even pull it up if I wanted to. Pull a Sean and Disk into that thing, and yeah, I know we should have just wrote it to the end. But Bart, 5 minutes, see why that move just happened on SpaceX. Hey, listen, man, I agree with you. I just don't have those on there. So we'll see what we got going on. Yeah, you're a baby compared to them, brother. Yeah, Joey, did you catch Joey's old age slam? Sharif's he's not here, man. You're old as you feel. Yeah, exactly, Derek, man. Age is just
What happened?
Maybe I won't repeat that.
Do I have to fight somebody?
No, well, no. Oh. But I was going to say age. I was almost going to say it again, but
what happened,
you just
man?
are however you feel. Because we don't promote the individual who has the song titled Forever Young, says King.
Forever young.
I want to be.
But
yeah, Bitcoin really strong today, guys. Some good looks. I thought it'd be the total opposite, but when you're this overdone, I remember at one point just during QT quantitative tightening, it was like bad news was good news and good news was bad news.
Yeah, Donald Trump is angry about that. He wants it to go back to the way it used to be, where good news is good news. Yeah, and bad news was bad news.
Yeah.
He was venting all sorts of about that last week. Yeah,
I mean, hey, man, but that's how it was, though, right?
Supposed to do, man. What do you want from us, man? So with the market operates. Are we going up to Adara? I heard
we are going up to Adara. DRAM up 8.5% now. Pullback in SpaceX. Tesla high of the day. Hood near the high of the day. Q's high of the day. SPY high of the day. Joseph.
This is big news, Joey.
Send it off to Adara.
Nice leg to the upside here for NVDA. The company, as we know, was reportedly facing some delays with its Kyber NVL144 rack. That was reported by Semi-Analysis this morning. But NVIDIA coming out right now, responding to this report, saying, quote, our roadmap is intact. So NVIDIA more or less denying here reports of delays for their rack, saying that roadmap is, in fact, intact. Back to you.
We'll be able to find out shortly because they can't hide where they get parts for these for this PCB printed circuit board. So we'll know if things are going to be delayed or not sooner rather than later. So wait for that, guys. So the headline was their new PCB for the Vera chip is going to be delayed from 27 to 28. It's very technically challenging to build it in this way. It's 75 layers. Specifically, they had a backup plan for it, which hyperscalers didn't like. That was the report this morning. But as Adair just brought you, not denying the report, but saying their roadmap is intact, whatever the hell that means. So we're going to continue to watch, and we'll see if they have to delay the Vera because they're banking on it, baby.
I think they're banking on a couple of things, my boy. NVDA. So.
What does big in Japan mean in fact? Big in Japan. I think it's just an expression, Ozan. It was like, if you weren't big in North America, you were big in Japan. I don't know. But whatever. Why? Did you say big in Japan?
I never said big in Japan, but
So where did he get that from?
But people just do nothing big in Japan.
Oh, is that what it means? Because I figured it just like meant that, you know, if you didn't make it in the U.S.,
you're big in
maybe
Japan.
you made it
You
in
make it
Japan.
in Japan.
Hell, I remember like the MC Hammer stretch where he was huge in Japan, like way after he was not popular here anymore.
Yeah.
Right? But that seems to be the case
Japan.
a lot, right? It's a catchy tune, says Brian, maybe. Okay. It's a song, says Brian. 25, 32, 0, 10. Get it, Brian? It's a what band? What? Okay, interesting.
Alphaville. Okay.
I don't even know.
I don't
that,
even know what
to be
that
honest
is.
with you. Tom Waits.
What?
Pretty old now.
Oh, Tom
Pretty
Waits.
old. Guys, Lucy went, huh? It continued to go. So back into that $0.25 area, which is a 10 EMA on the 5. It's holding structure, guys. So yeah, you guys were telling me $1.30 is the 200 SMA on the daily, and more respectful of that level I could not be. But the fact of the matter is, it just got into that 140, and by definition, that clears the pre-market high now, because the pre-market high was 137. So the official high day now a little bit higher. Now, whether we hold on to this $0.25, your guess is as good as mine. But I'm going to give it the other, what do we call it? We call it the JUCO try, right,
Yeah,
Joe?
the
We're going to
JUCO,
give him a good old JUCO try over here. We'll see what we get. And shout out to my man, Neil. We won't get upset.
Okay.
He's back tomorrow, right?
Yeah, you're gonna say where is Neil?
No,
Yeah,
because,
man.
you know, we haven't been getting Neil's listen of the day lately,
I know,
Joey,
man.
right? And, you know,
Did we already
it's a
do
big,
happening
big
now?
problem over here.
Did we do happening now?
Remember it from Forever Young. Same guy sings it. Get it, Ozan.
All right.
Okay.
I want to talk about Bitcoin a little bit
Get it,
here,
Joey.
Sharif. As we're now climbing up almost 4% to the top side here on IBIT.
Okay.
We'll take it, man. The long term is, I wouldn't call it singing, but it's not a horrible look today considering Robinhood up there in my top holdings, positive today. And then we also have Meta up almost 2%. Sorry, excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. Breaking through the volume weighted average price.
Ooh.
And continuing towards the pre-market high. Nebius, a name that got hit pretty heavy. I mean, it's not the cleanest price action, something that we don't typically day trade, but holding up relatively well. Now, LRCX, someone was mentioning Lam Research today to the downside, and what we can see, what is established, is these consistent lower highs. So I would look at this as some form of a wedge, and I wouldn't be surprised if it does head a little bit lower, but also we've filled this gap. So that can be taken into consideration, and that was kind of being my jib. And I don't know why I didn't hop right back into Tesla. Well, I can tell you why. Is because I was focusing on other things, not the ones that have been working really well for us, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. 394 now all the way up to 418. That's a good move here in Tesla. We're still on an inside day from Friday session, right? So we're still within the range of that. But I wouldn't be surprised come at some point this week that we get a breakup, guys. I'm not in on Friday. Don't forget.
No way.
Yeah. Obi's going to be covering it.
Obi's in there.
Remind him, yeah. So we'll get Obi back in the seat, maybe in an additional day throughout the week. We'll see. We're not decided, but we're limited on stuff like that. But we went over CrowdStrike, and I know we were talking about Quantum this morning. QUTN. Oh, yeah. So, guys, this is the Quantum ETF. Don't forget, it holds no Quantum names. It's like Intel and Micron.
Why do they do that?
I don't know, man. It's
There's
just
got to
because
be some sort of rules here, man.
Why
These ETFs. Remember, SOXL was like, at one point, it was like 40% cash.
Was it?
Like, why am I in this?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
You got to do your due diligence. Obviously, you're going to punch
look-
into a name.
and look into the holdings
Well,
of certain
exactly,
things,
right? But-
yeah, and the percentage of the holdings as well. So, I mean, the trade desk finding maybe a bottom here, but I want to look at Salesforce before we send it back to Sharif. I talk about a point of no return. I don't know if Mark Benioff and company are at that point, but it sure as hell feels like it, Sharif. Things can obviously change, but you're down 55% and have been trending down since December of 2024, okay? So it doesn't make anything easier. You're back to 2023 levels, and if you want to get really, really ugly, we're at the same point from over half a decade ago.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and it's just really unfortunate. I don't know what Salesforce is going to do, and the same thing with Nike.
That's almost like 5 years.
Dude, I don't know what Nike's going to do. Like, yeah, it's half a decade. It's more. What?
It is 5 years.
It is exactly 5
I'm
years.
joking,
Yeah.
bro.
It's more than half a decade at this point, right? Yeah. So, I mean, but that. Anyway,
I'm having a good time, man.
Yeah, I didn't really get what you're getting at there because I was
here,
like,
bro.
October 14th. Hold on.
This guy's gonna get super specific now.
Me? Yeah. October 13th, 2014. Nike was 42.83, Sharif. Now we are on July. Today's the 6th, right?
Yep.
Hold on, Assassino. July 6th, 2026. We are at the exact same level. So 12 years.
So you're saying it's not a good investment?
At all.
Yeah. I got to tell you, I didn't hit too many gyms down there, so I was unable to make an assessment of the gym wear trends in the southeastern Texas area.
Yeah.
But I didn't see too many people wearing Nike on the street. I gotta tell you that.
What did you see? Did you? It was probably. Yeah, that's a great question.
I didn't see it. Like I kept hitting the hotel gym, but yeah. Anyway, Sia, is Lucy on your small cap recap?
No, Sharif, unfortunately, no, it isn't. But we're going to take a look at other individual tickers I have picked for you. Currently, the IWM is holding the same momentum, up 0.84%, like I mentioned in the small cap, happening now, excuse me, as well. So we're going to take a look at a couple individual tickers for today. CAPS, CAPS, up almost 1%. So Capstone Holding has entered into a first amendment to its amended and restated common stock purchase agreement with Tamim Stone. It happened just a couple of days ago after the market had closed on Thursday. GT is up 5.4%. Goodyear Tire and Rubber will be moving to the S&P Small Cap 600 from the S&P Mid Cap 400 as of today. ALIT is up almost 19% on the day. There's nothing major here, just analyst commentary that Alight is maintained at buy by D.A. Davidson. Sending it back to you.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, I was just telling Joey, man, a lot of observations.
One of my good friends, like one of my really good friends who lived in Village with me, yeah, he's Dallas.
He's in Dallas.
Yeah, married.
But does he have? He has a 9 to 5.
He
right?
works for PepsiCo.
Yeah. How do you manage that? She's American.
He is.
Yeah, no, but she's American.
Oh, she is American. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah. Well, that's kind of the.
Well, what happened was because he worked for PepsiCo
nice.
in Mississauga right
there. So an easy transfer there.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's good, man. I was telling Joey, a lot of interesting observations business-wise in that state. Guys, we're still holding Lucy here. We're $1.29. There's a new high a day into 140. We're looking for more, man. I'm looking for $1.50. I realize 130 has been a hard level to hoe, but look, I get the 200 SMAs at it, but my bias is yelling here, 150. We're going to see how this cookie crumbles. While we wait for that, Dara's going to tell you about this.
President Donald Trump praising the CEOs of public companies that are involved in Trump accounts right now. Just mentioned Micron. MU did not move up on this. To be fair, he's already touted the MU investment in Trump accounts like twice in the past week. So I guess the third time was not a charm. Dell also in focus here. DELL, President Trump once again praising this company and CEO Michael Dell for their massive investment in Trump accounts. So he's still talking at this Rose Garden event. CEOs are being mentioned. Back to you.
How do you feel about the quantum of money that President Trump made last year?
I don't feel any type of way.
You don't feel any type of way?
No, you know why, Sharif? Because what am I going to sit here and complain about something I have no control over?
No, I get neither you or I have control over that, right? I think it stinks.
As if
and I'm not even against President Trump. You know that very clearly, right?
But
I do not like that, especially because A lot of the coins that he minted, he made a lot of money on.
Yeah, it's BS, bro.
Come on,
it's
man.
complete BS.
Come on, man.
Like it's a pump and dump. It's a pump and dump scheme where you trap the average person who's trying to make some money or trying to claim this type of status. But at the end of the day, Sharif, you of all people would know this. The world is cruel and unfair, man.
Yeah, but I know. But we're talking about, just like we're not. You and I are not policymakers, right?
No, not at all.
We're talking about the rights and the wrongs of the market, things that need to be changed. We often talk about, you and I always talk about the fact we don't want members of Congress trading. And I think that should equally apply to the executive, man. I hate it.
It's
I
unfair.
absolutely hate
it. Dude, it's literally a rigged game, man. It's the world is cruel and it's unfair.
Bro.
All you got to do is just try to roll with the punches.
No, you're 100% accurate. You're not saying anything that's inaccurate. You're none. But at the end of the day, I wouldn't mind seeing a legislation come in. They're preventing politicians. Maybe they can buy ETFs like the CNBC people. CNBC people are prohibited from owning individual stocks. They can only buy ETFs.
Yeah, Kramer doesn't even own any.
No, he does it through the trust.
Yeah, the
right?
travel trust.
Exactly. But it's
true. Yeah.
Right. I don't know, man. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. They have too much influence to be trading, and they have way too much insider information. Even if they didn't want to do it, they're going to.
Trump kids
I
are
don't.
even worse. Yeah, the Trump kids are even worse. What's his name? Barron, man.
Go ahead.
He's raking up cash. It is, man. Nepotism.
I heard about that.
Yeah,
too.
It's real. But unfortunately, you have no control over it, and if you sit there and you complain and be like, "Oh, poor me," well, guess what? The world is just gonna keep on moving, and you're gonna be sit there feeling sorry for yourself, which is a horrible thing, man. You get nowhere sitting there feeling bad.
No. But anyway, whatever. We beat this to death. But the point is, that number was prohibitive. Fantastic. He's got a lot of money. Right, I hope he does well in his life, but I just didn't like the way that it.
I agree, man.
Anyway, there goes Lucy, new high day, $1.42. We're close here. We just wet the beak at 42. We're in at 29. This is like the third time I've been in Lucy. Profitable trade on almost every single occasion. So continuing to watch here. Looking for a bigger move up to the $0.50. So that is my trade on Lucy. The one though on BFLY. Is this one's a little bit more precarious. So we still have some shares here. We're about 5 pennies out of the money, 4 pennies out of the money now, but it is putting in lower highs. So I think that this one, we're going to have to end it here because it looks like it's down to VWAP or it's heading down to VWAP, pardon me. And that was never part of my trade plan. My trade plan here was higher lows into an accumulation of 9 for a 9 flat top break. We ended up breaching 9, but it didn't take the flat top in the way that I was hoping. With a local area high there, I think of like 903, 904, whatever, something like that. In any event, it's not the one that I'm looking for. FXHO, continuing to watch this one. It's not losing. It's not breaking down from structure. It's losing trend, of course. The trend is down with a bunch of lower highs ever since that topping till candle into 25, followed by lower high, lower high, lower high. And now we're barely holding on to $20. In fact, we did give up $20 momentarily at 12 after 10 into 1916, held VWAP, and then breached prior bar high. But this is the kind of crap that I hate about small cap gappers. These two candles here, the 1210 candle and the 1215 candle, they're basically the contrapositive of one another. And this is the stuff that just will get you in and out of the trade almost immediately. I hate this candle setup here. One's a bottoming tail hammer candle. One's a topping tail inverse hammer candle. That's frustrating. In any event, if this breaks trend by actually putting in newer highs rather than lower highs, we'll get involved. But right now, it's not letting me get involved, nor should I be, quite frankly. But FXHO in focus. And then let's last but not least, let's not forget about LHSW. This one was a Tisha Perkins special, but it has been very, very dormant here during the midday. It hasn't been breaking out, continuing, doing anything here. So it's holding above the volume weighted average price. That is the good news. To get sort of in my purview here as a trade, it's got to get above 6.25 to 6.5. that breaks the downtrend, the unbroken downtrend that we've been on since we put in that 774 high at 10:20 a.m. So this one is not for me at the moment, but we're going to keep it in view because it could be at some point. So those are the ones that I'm looking at right there. Lucy's the best of the bunch. RTX, put some respect on this one's name. Flat top break through 650, 655. There it goes. Slower mover though. Sorry, I said RTX. I meant RXT. Pardon me. 667 high, showing 666. The ominous number now into a new area high, 668. So RXT, one to watch, ripping off that area support, Joey. So not a bad look there.
Yeah, guys, I was looking to short the Nasdaq as I seen the market slowly starting to crawl over, but I couldn't get involved around 77.12. That's our boy, right?
Yeah, man, I'm shouting him out.
Yeah, what's up, brother? What's up,
brother?
Texas?
Did you see the pictures that I put of us? Texas Jet fan. I put it. You and I, Dave, at the breakfast spot. Let me know if you were watching at the time, brother. Because I just saw you coming in now.
Looks like a cool. You look like a cool dude, man.
He's a great guy, bro.
Yeah,
and the way he raises his boys, man, let me tell you, man, he speaks with passion about his boys.
Hey, man.
And each one is entrepreneurial in their own right. One wants to be a lawyer. The other one he's 13 years old. He's got multiple businesses. He's power washing, power washing driveways. He wants to get a car, his older kid, so he's like, Texas Jet fan, he's like, no, man, you got to get your own car. You got to figure it out. He wants an M3, Joe.
Oh, wow.
So he's not shooting low, he's shooting high.
My next car is the X4.
Oh, that's what
I made my mind up on it. But it won't be happening anytime soon. I have to buy a house first. But yeah, guys, I was looking for the short, a nice little rebound here in SpaceX. Now I'm looking for a retest of this support level acting as resistance or anything as close to this previous pivot high. And then I'm going to be looking to short on the overall market.
Benton.
And send it over to the desk.
Sorry? Thank you so much. Let's take a look at the sector. The SPY currently up very close to 8%. Electric tech, we have Nvidia up 1%. So Nvidia's next generation Kyber track architecture designed for its 2027 Rubin Ultra AI chips has reportedly been delayed until 2028 due to manufacturing challenges that involve a critical circuit board. We'll discuss this more during the news segment, so don't go anywhere. AMD is up 8.72%. A Japanese autonomous driving startup Turing has added AMD Ventures as an investor and begun using the AMD AI accelerators, which reduces its dependence off Nvidia as it's preparing for commercial deployment. We have AVGO up 4%, MU up 2.81%, almost 3% on the day. We have INTC, Cisco also up, INTC up very close to 4%. Tech services, we have Google currently up 1%, Meta up 1.64%. Meta is reportedly shifting production of its third generation Meta training and inference accelerator, which is MTIA chips, to Samsung Foundry. So that Meta is up 1.6% on the day. We have Microsoft down 1.6% on the day. They announced some layoffs today, as well as Oracle is up 2.14% today, with Netflix sliding down close to 2%. Finance, you have BRKB trading a bit flat at the moment. Sorry about that. We have JPM. JPM currently up 0.52%. Visa and MasterCard sliding down close to 2% on the day, with Bank of America up 1.4%. And GS up 3% on the day. Retail trade, we have Amazon up close to 1%. Walmart, Costco, HD, TJX all sliding into the red. Producer manufacturing, we have MAT down close to 1%. We have CAT, LRCX, GEV in the green, with GEV leading the pack up 3.3%. A little bit of a mixed sentiment with the rest of the board over here. We have health tech sliding severely into the red, bearish today, with Lilly, J&J, Lilly down close to 1%, and J&J down close to 2% on the day, with ABBV down 2.14%. We have consumer durables, Tesla holding that strength, up 5.72% in the green. We have consumer services majorly in the red, I would say. McDonald's, Disney down almost 2% on the day. Energy minerals with XOM, CVX as well down 0.51% and close to 1% respectively. Utilities is a bit of a mixed sentiment here as well, followed by consumer non-durables, dominating by red. KO down 2% and P&G is down close to 3%. In transportation, we have Uber down 1.48%. So Uber's paused most of its planned Uber Eats expansion across Europe as it focuses on its proposed acquisition of Delivery Hero. Sorry about that. We have communications. Communications here, TMIS up 2.5% on the day. Industrial, process industries, non-energy, and distribution. Mixed sentiment across these 4 sectors. Sending it back.
Got an upgrade
Thank you
today.
very much. See who? Timus?
Yeah, Timus.
Nice. LUCY. Boom. Joey, new high a day on LUCY into 148. I told y'all I had a bias here that we were going to touch the $0.50. You know, we haven't officially touched it yet, but, you know, I always say, you know, 148, 152, to me, it's a $0.50 area. There it goes. Joseph frickin' options into another high a day, showing 149. It's now knocking on the door of that 100% triple-digit day, and there it goes. Joseph options again into 154. Down goes Fraser into 147. It's zigging, it's zagging. You know what people are doing above the $0.50? They're taking profits. They're going short. You're going to have a zig. You're going to have a zag at these whole dollar and $0.50 levels for exactly that reason. Be on the lookout here. LUCY, absolutely him at the moment into 154. Look for continuation through the $0.50 though. RXT continues to look great through that flat top break at 650 and or 655 into a new high at day 680. For those who are not interested in trading the fast names, or the fast moving names, I should say, RXT, the exact kind of opposite of that. Very slow, steady, both up and down. That all can change, of course, with a big buyer or seller. But for the moment, RXT, a steady state, higher high, higher low. And then now we're going to take the opportunity to get out of BFLY for a penny loss. I don't like this trade anymore. I can just admit it to myself that it didn't do what I wanted, and we can go ahead and take that loss. And as soon as I did that, it dropped. So that's nice there. Always nice to see. 169 says Ozan on Lucy, and he says, mark my words. I'm not going to bet against you, Ozan. We'll go with that. It's 154 at the moment. If it ends up topping out at 169, I'll be the good kind of omen of the day.
No.
I want to mention something else, man. Yeah, interesting background, Ozan. A lot of telecom years with Nokia.
Okay.
Very insightful about the telecom business. We started getting into LTE and 5G. He gave, like, you know, sometimes we look at these telecom companies like, why are they underperforming? You know, they're good, like dividend aristocrats love them, right? High dividend, everything. The other, but he brought my attention to something that I kind of knew, but I didn't really comprehend. He's like, look at the difference in usability, not the speed, but the usability in LTE versus 5G. Can you really say that your life changed as much from LTE to 5G as you could say from 3G to LTE? Personally, I thought 3G was absolute trash and was highly unreliable. When LTE 4G kind of came in, it steadied things out a little bit. But like he's like, the telecom companies had to spend an arm and a leg to upgrade from LTE to 5G, and they didn't see the ROI on that in the same way that they saw the ROI on 3G to LTE, because they were able to get so many new customers, because it really did make high-speed internet mobile. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, and he's like, that's the next level, 6G. They're not even looking at that because they're probably not going to see anything related. But he brought up a really good point. He's like, 6G is not going to be as consumer-related. It's going to be more enterprise-related. Think like mobile data centers.
Fair enough.
Almost in a sense where you're not hardwired.
Yeah.
Right? So a lot of insightful stuff from Ozan. Shout out to my man there. Man gave me a couple of lessons on industries I didn't know a whole lot about.
Yeah, no, that's good to hear, and I can completely agree. I think it's just like that nice steady step to the point where you do have that upgrade where it does make a drastic change in between. Right. It's just a little bit of a modification. But yeah, Gaurav, nice look. I know I pulled up Intel. Listen, I'm not a big fan of trading it, but I pulled it up. I'm like, brother, I don't see anything.
What up?
And it's heading towards the lower end of this range right now. I'm looking for something, right? Like it's just one, as I always say, just one trade away from rocking and rolling. I wish I had the diamond hand. I wish I had Deontay Wildered this SpaceX, because this would have been really nice for us and with an opportunity to add. So we've had 4 trades today, 2 losses, 2 winners. Still slightly red just because I didn't hold on to these winners long enough. DRAM just went absolutely beautifully parabolic off of those lows. Parabolic is a big time stretch, but you can see where my thesis was laying as just build, 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 and then eventually once I found out that it wasn't going, I got out. And good thing that we did, it did eventually find out that bottom 64.60 bounces off of that and then heads up to approximately 65.74, okay? So not too bad of a look there. Intel heading to the south side, I think at this point we have this shelf that's been established. It's going to break. So a potential short there as the Nasdaq is really starting to slide. And we wanted up there at 77.14, Sharif. 77.14 is now down to 76.80s here on the TQQQs. Missed opportunity, was waiting for a little bit deeper of a pullback. I'm not saying that we won't get it, which I believe we will. At some point, buyers will step in or the sellers will take their foot off the gas. We'll get that retest of 77.20s, maybe even a little bit higher. As long as we fail to establish a new high of the day right here, then that's going to be my green light to go for a potential short on the overall market. DRAM selling, but like look at this. Compared to Thursday, we would look across the board and there was just red everywhere. Now it's a little bit more difficult to find anything that is red, right? There's a whole lot of green. Some of the cyclicals are getting some cash run out of them. Some restaurants like Chipotle Mexican Grill. Haven't been to Chipotle in a bit. Here it is. I mean, it hasn't been performing all that well. Chipotle, Sharif.
Can I see the monthly on that?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
days.
So 65 bucks.
That's the weekly?
All the way, yeah, 51%. In a company, and I'm sure Derek can shine some more light on this.
That's post-split too, right?
Yeah, post-split here, right? So it did a 50-1.
Yeah,
I remember
Which
that.
I remember that
company did you say?
specifically.
Chipotle.
Yeah, I think for me, I was just saying, asking C off camera if she likes Chipotle. I personally enjoy Chipotle, but in terms of a company, I will always associate them with that one moment when Brian Niccol, who was the CEO at the time, now he's over at Starbucks, he was asked over those studies that showed that the bowls were not being weighed equally. Like people would be getting radically different amounts of food from a bowl, even ordered at the same Chipotle. And he said, well, if you want more, you just got to give your waiter a little, give him a little. And I'm like, this is so cringe. And then a couple months later, he becomes Starbucks CEO. So
Yeah.
that's the only association I have.
But that's actually how it is when you're at Chipotle, I say, can I get a little bit more? And you actually get some more. But no, there's a lot of issues with this name. And they've really condensed their menu to shore up costs and increase margins. But the one thing that I read on the previous report, 1 second, Sia, was that the premium steak, the steak is costing them a pretty penny, which isn't good and really hindering the margins. Yeah, what's going on?
Honestly, I feel like Chipotle was good. I enjoyed it all throughout my university, but my recent obsession has become Poulet Rouge, and it's really good.
Is what?
Poulet Rouge.
Okay.
It's literally, it's not...
Red chicken.
Yeah, I've never heard of this.
Poulet
Yeah.
Rouge?
Yeah, well.
Is it from Quebec?
I think so. I believe so. I don't know, but
Or
I...
The only real one
France.
is
I
Saint
tried
Hubert.
it around earlier this...
I know,
Yeah.
that's what we said, yeah.
I tried it earlier this year, and honestly, I loved it. It's really good. They have like,
Poulet.
they tell you, so if for example, you track calories, they'll tell you how many
Oh.
calories are in the bowl. They'll tell you how many calories. Their desserts are under 200 calories, which is like pretty good, not too sugary. I like it personally.
Nice. Yeah, it is Quebec. Founded in 2012, famous for its customizable, healthy grilled chicken bowls.
Oh, okay. There might be one.
Can I say one thing, though?
Pull up the maps on it. I want to see it because
You want to see it, Joey?
Yeah, pull up.
We're going to hit maps. Queen West, says Sia. Poulet Rouge. You got a few here, Joey. You got Mississauga, Poulet Rouge, and then you got one in Mississauga, you got one in Woodbridge, one in
Not too many of them.
Thornhill.
Oh, yeah,
She says there's one downtown. I don't know why it's, because I probably put Wiki. Queen West, you're absolutely right, Sia, right there. There's a bunch downtown here, Joey. One right there, there's
what's
three
that?
downtown.
That's the, go
Which
into
one?
that
You want
one.
that one?
Yeah, go in there.
Because you want it Liberty, huh?
Yeah, of course.
So, the address on this
no,
one
that one.
is as
Oh,
this
that's in the
corner
well.
Front Street West, yeah.
That's in the well.
Poulet Rouge,
Yeah, it's in the well.
Yo, but if
Where
you
you did your
want
gym
real kind of chicken from Quebec, it's Saint Hubert for me, my guy.
I never even heard of
No,
these names.
you never went to Saint Hubert?
No, sir.
You don't remember this over here?
Yeah.
You don't remember this? This
No,
restaurant,
never
Saint
had.
Hubert, it used to be in Ontario. It used to be
Oh,
kind
yeah?
of like Swiss Chalet versus Saint Hubert,
Okay.
but they're only in Quebec now. They closed all their Ontario stores. When I went
enough.
back in 2018, my nephew had
Yeah.
a tournament there. We had some Saint Hubert. It was
All right,
fantastic. So shout out.
Are we going over to
I
someone?
don't think we're going to anybody, man.
Oh, okay, so
Ram
screw
Ram's talking Matt Smack here, CA. You're going to have to check your girl,
What's she
Ram
saying?
Ram, because she says Poulet Rouge in Toronto is trash.
Okay.
Gots to go to MTL. Sia says Montreal 1 is better. They only started last year in Toronto, says Ram Ram. Okay. I was so excited about them coming to Toronto, but their quality. Okay. Ozan, can you pin Joe's place on the map so I know where I will stay? Can I tell you, he's not actually this sarcastic
I
a
know,
person.
no,
He's not at all. Like I thought this was gonna be like joke after joke after joke. No, he's actually a serious guy.
I like that.
So shout out to my man Ozan. Don't worry, Ozan. I'll send you where he lives. I know where he lives. You'll have a full accounting later.
Yeah.
so
I'll get you a garage key as well too, so you.
You gave me the garage key?
No, I'll get it.
Oh
Jose
yeah, I was
one,
like,
so you
when
can just
did
pop
I get
right
the
in.
garage key, man?
All right, guys.
Joey, RXT just ripped up to 690.
Did
here,
it?
So good luck, yeah.
RXT. Let's pull up this bad boy. How's Kids and Lucy? 159 million shares traded on Lucy. Our Kids, sorry, I should say. It's trading below the volume weighted average price. See how this bad boy is looking. Lucy. Oh, okay, yeah, this one's really moving today, Sharif. Not too bad of a look. LHSW, not doing too much. And BMNU. What's this one? Oh, okay. This is the 2X long BMNR ETF. 92 cents. Interesting. Excuse me, interesting stuff. Now, see, yeah, I agree with Mike P. DeRider on today's session. A little bit cooler, but Sharif found some nice names in Lucy and Kids that were moving a little bit earlier here on the day. I'm still going to stick to my short thesis
Lucy
on...
and kids, I love that. It sounds like Lucy brought her kids along.
Oh, okay.
And we traded them.
Yeah, all right, bang.
That sucks.
Joe ain't a Ferrari type guy?
Are you you're a Lambo guy.
Yeah, I could immediately
I would get
the SUV and then maybe a McLaren.
the Urus, huh?
Yeah, the Urus, yeah.
You don't like the Parasangue?
No, I wouldn't get that. That wouldn't be on.
Ferrari,
Yeah, I wouldn't. That would be on the lower end.
That'd be on the lower end? That's crazy.
Yeah.
You know the
I like
Urus
Ferrari.
is just a souped up RQ8, right?
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, that's the thing, Joey. Like you can get like an Urus, but for 150,000 less by getting the Audi version.
I'm okay with that.
You know what I
I'm
mean?
cool
Like you
with
could
the
be
Lamborghini,
thrifty
man.
like that. But there's no equivalent to the Parasangue.
Man, I'm not gonna say it.
I'm a rabbit
Anyways, yeah, I'm a rabbit. Hey, nothing wrong with that, man. I told you next car is gonna be the X4. I was like, but we gotta buy the place first. We gotta buy the house first. Anyways, here it is, guys. To the downside is the Nasdaq. I think at this pace we're gonna run into the volume weighted average price. It's unfortunate that we didn't get the pullback that we were looking for back into that 77.20 marker, and then head into about 76.47 would be the primary target. So yeah, we'll be patient just in case there is any form of stronger pullback. We'll head over to our watch list once again and see how the MAG are, because they're so heavily weighted. We have to always keep an eye, especially trading the Nasdaq. So the NVDA was up 1 1/3 at one point, giving back some of that, helping drag the Nasdaq lower. Google was up a little bit more as well, still hovering around the highs. Apple been strong all day, every day, 314 to 312. Oh, pretty close. You're only a couple of points now off of the all-time high. It's funny that we are writing this name off for whatever reason when it was down 14%. Well, yeah, well, cool, good story, because we're only 0.5% off of the all-time high once again there, Sharif. SpaceX, I believe there's going to be more downside in this bad boy. I have orders posted up at 125, and then it might be just load the boat from there and then just ride out whatever wave is coming for us in the near future. Watch that. Again, I'll say for the 30th time, Sharif, just watching those videos like StarCloud, we're significantly closer to data centers in space than what we think we are.
Oh yeah, I agree. And there's a lot of analysts who don't agree. Look at what Masayoshi Son said.
What do you say?
He said there's no real use case for data centers into space.
Okay.
And I'm not gonna just listen to everything Elon says because it came out of Elon. Like you gotta kind of make the comparisons, see what other important people that you like are saying, right?
Yeah.
Just listen to one person.
Yeah,
one
exactly.
Person
listen to multiple opinions and
right,
build your
and like
own.
just
build your own
exactly, and then let's
pieces up.
find sort of the middle ground or the ground that we like. But anyway, Masayoshi-san, he doesn't like it. I don't know if he's going to be right or he's going to be wrong. But you brought up a lot of good points last week.
It's already happening.
Cooling,
Yeah.
right? Power, solar power,
Yep.
unlimited. Obviously, cooling with I think it's pretty close.
Dude, you should see what the
sub-zero
Chinese are
temperatures.
doing. They already launched some. They're planning on launching around like 2,800 solar panels into space.
Oh yeah, the Chinese definitely.
They don't care, bro. No regulation. It was just rock and roll. They're significantly more ahead than what we would ever anticipate.
In solar
Yeah.
and in renewables, certainly.
For sure.
We know that. They produce most of these solar panels.
This company
in the world,
called This company called StarCloud has already launched an H100 into space.
Is that right?
Yeah, man.
On a small scale, I'm
Small,
assuming, to
yeah,
try to
just
test
one,
it.
yeah.
Very
They said it's like the
interesting.
size of a refrigerator they launched.
Well,
up there to
basically,
see,
yeah,
right?
because it's like a server rack,
Yeah, man.
right? Yeah, interesting stuff. Yeah, so Bovin, I'm going to stop out below 78. So I see these bottoming tail candles on LOBO below 78. I'm going here small share size, Bovin, because this is not really my cup of tea. You know, these illiquid kind of, let's just say they're zigging and zagging here without too much in the way of price action on any one time. So we're going to give this the old college try. If it wants to squeeze into $1, great. If it loses 78, I'm out of there. Jack, data centers always talk about cost to get up to space. They will never compare here on the ground. Well,
That's not true.
That's not true. And we spoke about the cost per kilogram being a really limiting factor in putting them in orbit right now, because you're about $1,000 per kilogram if you launch with SpaceX. Elon Musk's stated goal is to drop that $1,000 per kg, it's about 2.2 pounds, to about $100 per kilogram. So I think once it gets in and around there, we'll have a more cost-feasible strategy, but we got to get in and around there. Are we going to see it?
StarCloud has already started that. They're already
to
getting
hear
the reduction in price. So, and think about it. In order to sustain this this AI build out, just the amount of power consumption over the next 15 years is going to more than triple. And that means you would have to build more nuclear plants here on the surface of Earth. Some of the numbers just don't make sense. But StarCloud actually reducing the price to only, I think it's like $300 a kilogram.
I believe that. I believe that. All right, let's send it up to Sia.
Thank you so much. Let's take a look at what the money markets are doing right now. GP West, the Bank of Japan, yen, is attempting to normalize certain monetary policies and also tighten rates, but the yield gap that's between the United States and Japan is continuing to keep a certain pressure on the yen, which is keeping it near, as we all do know, what we've been seeing it in the last couple of weeks, historic multi-decade lows. So a bit of a concern over there. Also, the Eurozone headline, inflation cooling a bit faster than expected. So the GBP EUR pressures eased on the ECB, giving them more leeway to loosen certain policy compared to the Feds. And finally, we have the dollar, the DXY, currently holding steady, I would say, around the 100.97 region, dropping a little bit over there, consolidating, as you do know, below the 101 level, currently up, however, on the day 0.09%.
Thank you very much, Sia. Sia, Joe, good one. All right, guys, watching Lobo. Joe's taking off. All right, watching Lobo here. Bovin, it just bounced off 78 again, and Bovin, the spread opened up to 3 pennies on this name. What did you get me into, Bovin? No, I'm kidding, of course. You didn't get me into anything. Look, I'm looking for a 78 hold right now. It's shown good defense at 78. My only concern is that we're putting in lower highs. So every time we do pop off into that low 80s area, 82, 83, we are met with some selling. So it's good that the 78 buyers are stepping in. It's not good that we're not able to put other highs. So be on the lookout for that. But I do want to mention a couple of names here. Lucy just got into another day high, 157 on LUCY, and it's still putting in higher highs and higher lows. I would say, definitely watch out for an aggressive retracement that loses a 10 EMA somewhere into that 135 to 133 area. That was the pre-market high. So that level could come in again as a support level this time as opposed to resistance. So be on the lookout for that. I'm also liking the look at RXT's jib over here. It continues to hold the 10 EMA. I've had no trades on RXT. I've been more biased of a 6.5 to 660 move, which hasn't come in quite yet. Currently showing 6 3/4. And then, as I mentioned, I got all out of BFLY because this one, and I only lost a penny a share on this, by the way, which was good because, you know, it was definitely down about 8 pennies off my entry. I got out of this because it broke trend. It was going for higher lows and a flat top breakthrough 9. Ended up losing that, so it lost me as a trader. So that's what we'll keep an eye on. Jack, thank you for reading, but I meant the cost to build infrastructure on the ground to support long-term brick and mortar data centers. Space is one and done cost. Very interesting. I like that take. I had never considered that, actually. My only concern about that, Jack, though, is that the reusability of these AI data centers in space. I don't see too much in the way of reusability. What are we going to do? We're going to have spacewalks to replace the aging processors. Like once a Blackwell is up there, once a Hopper is up there, it's not easy to kind of, you know, open up the server rack, take out the PCB, take out, you know, the whole server there, or the components, I should say, and then replace it with a new one. I mean, once these ones are up there, they're up there, and then you're probably going to have to let them crash down like these telecom low Earth orbit satellites. Like, what do we do with that? So that's kind of what I'm thinking about that. Shout out to my man, Texas Jet fan. Joe, look at Lake Travis in Austin, Texas. Joe and Sharif, look at Lake Travis in Austin, Texas.
Yeah, we'll do that,
Yeah,
man.
you were thinking about going to Austin as
I
well.
want to go to Austin, yeah.
Too much trash flying around to put data centers in space, says Alan.
That's another issue.
Yeah, I got to tell you, I get that, and I've heard a lot about space debris becoming a real issue. But to me, it's the lack of replacement ability. What are you going to do with it?
It's not going to be easy. Yeah, 100%, man.
I don't think you can repurpose it. Oh, Ichiro chiming in. Repurpose the old space data center for other uses. Doesn't require as much compute. Agree with that, Ichiro. We've seen CoreWeave do that as well, right? Haven't we? We saw them take the, I believe, was it the A100s or the A200s, whatever they were, and they started renting them out for more than they were charging at the time they were the premier chip, right? So we know there are use cases for these old chips, which is completely counter to Michael Burry's previous thesis. I don't know if he still holds it or not, that these, you know, chip companies were way overstating the use time for these chips. We know that to be incorrect because we've seen it in real life with CoreWeave, with Nebius, and some other of these neo clouds. So he better, you know, I think he's definitely onto something here, but I don't think from that sense he's right. Adam James Abroad dropping 2 in the chat. Every data center and flock camera to pieces. I know you're not a fan of data centers, Adam. I know how you feel about them. I know a lot of people who share your views feel about them as well, and I respect your opinion, man. But they're not a fan of these data centers for water, and well,
you don't need any of that in space, so.
Well, exactly, and the power use as well, Joe.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I know D. Westemar. I know what you're talking about here. Listen, I don't have the best entry, maybe a little bit of a chase, but it's really starting to cook up at this point. And I just put on some more size than what I really actually intended to. So let's see if we get a move back into VWAP. That's going to be the primary target without having form of a hefty pullback here. Even if so, I don't mind adding a little bit of shares, but if we just have a nice clean path to this level, that's going to be absolutely fire for us. Oh, it already is. It's already starting to cook up, man. Here, I'm going to relieve. I'm going to take a little bit of a breath and take some off right now. Rejected order. All right. I need to know. It's because I have to increase my... Yes, there it goes, Sharif. Yeah. Bang, 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 bang. Bang, there it is. I mean, get it off the face of the earth. Here it is. Data centers killed my... Ooh, okay. Okay, Blicky. I wouldn't want to pet shark anyways. But yeah, there it is. See, this is the pullback that I'm talking about. So now I'm glad that we took off half right here off of that little downtick. And then now we're starting to display signals that I do not want to see. All right. So if this gets any more crazy, we're right back at the break even. I don't want to panic too quick. But if it does start to come back, we'll hop out of the trade and then we'll wait for the pullback through 77s and then re-engage the trade. Okay. That's going to be the game plan. D. Westermeyer, I really like that you pointed out the fact that at that 76.79 break, and that's what really made me play it, is because I think that's a logical spot to get involved with. But now the Nasdaq is going to bounce. Okay, so we'll get out break even on this bad boy. We'll take a little bit of a scalp W, but now the indecision prints are telling me to potentially go long. So as long as we hold up at this level, which is approximately going to be 76.62s, pull back here, holds it, and then boom, off to the races we go to the long side. Why? Because I'm going to be looking at the larger names and seeing the trajectory of what they are currently on. Is NVDA bouncing? Yes, it looks like it. Is Google bouncing, still hovering around the highs? And then we're up 1.3 in Apple. Is this bouncing? But Microsoft being one of the only red names. Now, if this name wants to get going, watch out, because there could be a good opportunity for a VWAP break. But we do have a key pivot high around 386.83, which we always want to monitor. All right, Marvell, how have you been performing today? We're positive 3 1/5, not too bad. ARM up 3 1/5 as well too. Intel up 3%. So I mean, Gorb, maybe like when we were talking about this a little bit earlier, I thought this is what you were referring to, but then you mentioned you don't really see anything. But I don't like the shelf that's being formed right now. I think that's a little bit dangerous and almost I actually am going to say it, inevitable that we break a little bit lower. How much lower is the real question, and only time will be the teller of that. ASML up 4% here today, and AMAT, I believe, was slightly negative.
AMAT?
AMAT, I believe, was slightly negative, I thought at some
It is, man. It's down 1, brother.
Yeah, it's down 1. It's Burry, man. And anyways, the crypto names, wow, BM&R up 10% here today. 10%. Wow is right, Assassino, 10%. So let's see if this name is going to finally find a bottom. The crypto space, which is, I believe, has been completely overdone, but
Joey,
it doesn't matter what I think. What's up, brother?
Let's talk serious business now.
It better be serious.
Very serious
If you got me talking about crypto, it better be serious.
You're really feeling good about crypto these days?
No.
No, neither am I. Portugal plays Spain or España.
España.
3 o'clock today.
Yeah.
Who's the favorite?
Spain. Spain.
Okay, beautiful. You're absolutely right. Heavy favorites. Who's going to win, Joey?
Spain.
Score.
2-1.
2-1?
Yeah.
Does your very good friend Cristiano Ronaldo net?
Pinaldo?
Wow, you just took the opportunity to dunk on him, and of course you're highlighting the fact that he's never scored.
Yeah, in an elimination.
And now he has, because he scored.
With a
Pinaldo. However, he's never scored in an elimination game in open play.
Let me tell you this.
Let me tell you something.
No, let me tell you this. I've never seen, on my drive home on Thursday, I've never seen so many jerseys of one dude. It's insane.
Did that bother you?
Very much so.
It bothered you.
It bothers me. I stopped wearing jerseys without, if it doesn't have my last name on it, I'm not wearing it.
You're not wearing it.
I'm not wearing it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, 2-1 today for Spain.
Yeah.
Does it go to extra time?
No. It's in regulation in 2-1. So yeah. Never sued. That's crazy, man.
Did you see the love he got?
Someone told me something. It's like, yeah, man, you can't be wearing jerseys with other people's names on it. You got to wear something with your last name on it. So I'm like, yeah.
Spain 4-0, says Vinay Patel.
4-0.
Roach Dog, you're already in my good books, bro. As soon as you said AFC COYG, right away you were upgraded. So shout out to my man Roach Dog there. 2-1 Portugal. Ronaldo scores last minute. Soccer gods love CR7 though, says Gabor 00 or Gabozor. Sorry. 2-1 for Spain sounds good, says my man Eduardo. Okay. All right. What did you think about Bolgun, who's a former Arsenal player, getting his red card reversed?
Yeah, I told you, FIFA can be bought, man.
Yeah, so you know who helped out with that?
Yeah.
What's
the
his
orange
name?
card.
Orange card. President Trump.
Yeah.
Oh man.
FIFA can be bought. We know this.
President Trump, bro. He's a very influential person. Watch the chat.
Listen,
now.
Okay, Bronny James Jr. sales jerseys last year was Bronny James Jr.'s rookie jersey. Shattered records, selling over 500,000 units, generating more than $50 million. and revenue for, yeah, I mean, that's fantastic, but I'm over the era of just, if it's not my name on it, I ain't wearing it. Honestly, say maybe a bit tight Cabo Verde. Let's see, Joe is a model of no question. If I could send you my personal trade. Oh, thanks, Tony. I appreciate that one, man. But yeah, I mean, that's just where I stand. Nice little downside movement. I thought we would get a little bit of a rebound at the volume weighted average price here in the triple Qs. Comes back to the break even, no re-engagement, but we'll take the little scalp city. Yeah, I mean, we could talk hockey there any given moment. We signed I think the biggest free agent, to be honest with you, Sergei Bobrovsky is now a Toronto Maple Leaf for the next 3 years. We also got the #1 pick, which apparently Selena's cousin seen this guy downtown at one of the restaurants across the street from our spot.
And?
He's just chilling. He's an 18-year-old. Yeah, he's an 18-year-old kid who's now coming to the city of Toronto. He's got signed an entry-level.
Oh, is that contract. The guy that Justin Bieber announced?
Yeah, Gavin McKenna. Yeah, Gavin McKenna.
It's the only thing that I saw. That on McKenna. Social media was.
So we'll see. As a rookie, you can in the NHL as a rookie, very, very rarely do you have an instant impact in the game.
Yeah, I get that feeling.
Unless your name's like Austin Matthews or
right,
David, but he's none of them. So yeah. Other than that, I don't buy teams or names either. Wear your own name and your own logo. Yeah, I mean, I'm okay with the logo, but just other names we're not doing anymore. We're gonna go long the Nasdaq here, Sharif.
All right, man, that's a good look, Joey. It's closing in on 4/5 there.
Yeah.
All right, FXHO just made a move. So I know there's a lot of traders looking at this name. And it makes sense that they are because it's up 170 some odd %. But I submit to you guys, this is doing one of those things that we've talked a lot about, which is this bull trap downtrend break. What am I talking about here? Well, this was a topping tail candle into 25, and then it just completely lost the trend. Found some support here at around the volume weighted average price. Now it's breaking trend with this breakout candle coming into about $20.04, 20 3/4. The problem with this candle is it's more likely short covering and or a bull trap being set up by the shorts here. So be careful with this. What ends up happening is we end up putting a lower high, and by lower high, I'm talking about relative to the $25 intraday high. So for example, it'll pop up into 21, let's just say 22. And then the next candle will fail that breakout candle low. So this candle, for example, the one that just opened up at 105, will fail the low of the 1 o'clock candle. I'm not saying it's going to happen on this 2 candle series here, but just be on the lookout, okay? This is what these ones do, especially when they're downtrending for such a prolonged period in the afternoon. They tend to be bear trap or bull traps, excuse me. So being set up by bears. Anyway. It is 105. That means we're, ready for the new segment. Let's send it up to Sia and see what we're talking about today.
Let's start by talking about LMT. Lockheed Martin saying to buy naval defense firm Ultra Maritime for $3.45 billion. So it said today that it'll be buying these naval defense group Ultra Maritime for $3.45 billion. So LMT has been leading the race to buy Ultra for roughly $3.5 billion. And Guggenheim as well as JP Morgan have been advising on the selling side of it. Stephanie Hill, who's the president of Lockheed Martin Rotary and Mission Systems, has said, by joining forces with Ultra Maritime, we're accelerating our commitment to deliver the most advanced undersea and anti-submarine warfare capabilities to our U.S. and allied partners across the globe. So Advent International has not disclosed its financial advisors yet. Ultra is owned by the private equity firm Advent International and specializes in anti-submarine technology. So LMT has also said in a separate statement that Citi had served as its financial advisor, and we have Advent International that specializes in anti-submarine tech, is the company that makes radar and electronic warfare systems, just a background, as well as torpedo defense countermeasures. So after this deal closes, Ultra's team will become a part of LMT's Rotary and Mission Systems business. Currently, we have LMT that's down on the day 1.3%.
How you mentioned that they've been trying to buy them for like 10 years because during that 10-year period, they were not Ultra was just not dormant. In fact, they signed a very, very important technological deal with one of my favorite companies, Anduril. I happen to love Palmer Luckey. I like his style. I like his thinking. And I like the company that he's running because it very much touches on the tech side of warfare in a way we haven't seen these legacy weapons makers really, hit. And that's why I think LMT is buying Ultra here. So what they did was they signed a high stakes development pact with Anduril to merge their proprietary sonar sensors directly into Anduril's autonomous uncrewed underwater vehicles, UUVs they're being called. So by absorbing Ultra, what LMT does, it effectively inherits a direct and a very high value algorithmic hardware pipeline right into its fiercest sort of defense startup segment. And that's why I feel we're getting this LMT deal. I think that they're very good at creating legacy weapon systems, but as we're seeing before our very eyes, whether in the European front or the Middle Eastern front, legacy weapon systems are too costly and they're ineffective against newer weapons. Specifically, of course, I'm talking about drones. In this case, it's more for seaborne threats, but I'll submit to you the same threat is posed there as it's posed in the air. There's no reason why autonomous systems can't have a very clear and decisive role in warfare on the water. So I'd be looking out for that. I love this tie-up over here. We'll see how it ends up trading. Joey's going to skip this one. Let's go back to see you.
All right, thank you so much. We're going to take a look at SPCX. So we're going to have the SPCX will officially join the Nasdaq 100 as of tomorrow after the Nasdaqs have fast-tracked the newly public mega-cap companies under revised index rules. So funds tracking the Nasdaq 100 that represent roughly $800 billion in assets are expected to purchase shares after today's close, which will create a wave of mechanical buying. And with that, we have SpaceX trading currently flat at the moment.
Yes, I had something prepared here for SpaceX, but looks like I've misplaced it. Okay. So, guys, we need to be careful with the lockout periods here because they're going to be coming pretty soon. Now, we have a good sort of buying tailwind with the NASDAQ inclusion, so we know we're probably going to get a few good days here as some of these index funds that track the NASDAQ add SpaceX to their portfolio if they already haven't. But that is only one side of the equation. We have a 90-day period coming up, and we need to look at how much in terms of projected selling we're expecting. My latest, not my report, the report that I read says that there could be around $8 billion in, a lot of employees who will be looking at selling. Can you believe that the Austin area has seen a huge surge in demand for luxury housing all of a sudden out of I'd say the last couple of months, because a lot of the people with SpaceX investments, so let's just say, who, maybe didn't qualify for these expensive homes before, because they didn't make that enough money per year, all of a sudden qualify because they're able to throw a big boy down payment on that. So there's a lot of people who are expecting to sell their shares, and I think we need to be alive to that. Whether it gets absorbed or not, we'll have to wait.
So to add to your point, right, and I know Brando brought this up too, we have a hidden 30% rule. Right? So the hidden rule most investors are already watching August 5th, as you stated there, when approximately you're talking about the notional value of things, Sharif, that's 912 million shares representing about 20% of the eligible non-affiliate holdings become eligible for sale on the second trading day after SpaceX reports its second quarter results. Okay.
There you go.
So there could be a pretty hefty offloading of shares. And if people are looking to buy their first home or buy that luxury home, as you mentioned, and I also told you, Sharif, the pricing in Texas, Dallas itself just went through the roof after my buddy moved there and purchased something at a ridiculous interest rate. Neither here nor there. Be prepared, right? And that's why I started small with my entry points. And I do believe we're going to be able to run into that $125 marker where I do have an additional order out. So keep an eye out, 912 million shares, 20% of the eligible non-affiliate holdings become eligible for sale. 2 days, a day after that second quarter earnings report, which is going to be absolutely massive. I wouldn't be surprised with individuals who've been in it for quite some time, looking to sell some, lock in that profit, and redeploy that capital elsewhere, and as Sharif mentioned, into the potential housing markets. So just be cautious, guys, in case there's some hefty selling coming after.
Thank you so much for that. Let's talk about TeraWolf next. You know TeraWolf is soaring right now, currently up more than 10% on the day. So Anthropic has signed a 20-year lease to use TeraWolf data center, to use a TeraWolf data center in Kentucky as of today. So it has pivoted to AI data center infrastructure, and its stock is up more than 80% this year. So the data center is located about an hour southwest of Louisville in Huntsville, and will have the in Havesville. My apologies. And will have the capacity of around 400 megawatts, with first power delivery that is expected in the second half of the year 2027. So the lease is expected to generate around $19 billion in revenue over the initial term. So CEO Paul Paga has said that the Anthropic lease validates our strategy and establishes a long-duration revenue stream with one of the world's leading AI companies. TeraWolf has also sold its 50% interest in a 168-megawatt data center in Abernathy, Texas, to an investor group led by FluidStack. And with that, like I mentioned, Wolf is up on the day 10.4%.
Yeah, I don't have a whole lot to say about this one. See, interesting take, good look for for TeraWolf, but yeah, I'm not a big fan of these companies who don't have a lot of experience in the space getting into the space, so I don't have much to add.
Yeah, listen, I think it's just something else that we need to keep our eye on, right? Like Anthropic signing another big-time deal, and if these guys don't live up to some of their obligations and the performance metrics that a lot of companies are going to be heavily reliant on, you're going to see some issues. I don't think that's necessarily going to be the case, but it was with OpenAI when they missed their monthly active users target. So I'm not saying Anthropic is going to fall into that, but if things tend to cool down and you don't have the ability to monetize as many of your monthly active users as you would like, that can run into some big-time issues with the amount of RPOs that both of these companies have now implemented. So it's an iffy look. Can't wait to see some of their numbers, that's for sure. See ya.
No worries. Let's take a look at Meta. So Meta is reportedly shifting production of its third-generation Meta Training and Inference Accelerator, MTIA chips, to Samsung Foundry. I mentioned this earlier during the Sector Watch segment. We're going to dive a bit deeper into this. So this marks a potential change from its previous generations that were manufactured by TSMC. So this deal could be worth more than $6.5 billion, with Samsung producing the chips on its advanced 2nm processors after TSMC's leading-edge capacity has become increasingly constrained. So it fits Meta's broader strategy of reducing reliance on Nvidia as well as AMD by developing its own AI accelerators for training as well as inference workloads. So management has plans to deploy the 5 gigawatts of AI data center capacity by the year 2030 while accelerating its internal chip development cycle. With that, Meta is up 2% on the day. But before I send it to the guys, Adara, give us your take on this.
Yeah, I'm not going to comment on this story. I'm going to comment on another story with Meta that I think is of note. So as we know, last week, and Sean talked about it this morning, I mentioned it this morning as well, very late on Thursday, well into Power Hour, final trading session of the week, we hear some reports here from Reuters that there was this internal town hall at Meta, which featured a couple executives, including CEO Mark Zuckerberg, during which Zuckerberg told employees that he believes the company's AI agent development over the last handful of months had, quote, not accelerated in the way they expected. So a lot of people took this as kind of Meta accepting defeat. Now, he did say that he expects it to improve later on. But either way, it sounds like this town hall, just a report, it sounds like it might have been real. Because we did get a response here from these reports from Alexander Wang. Now, Alexander Wang, not the designer, this is the Alexander Wang who is the co-founder of Scale AI and also leading Meta's intelligence or super intelligence labs here, right? So he responded to this post saying, quote, first, Mark was clearly talking about the industry's progress on agentic capabilities on the whole. But while we're on the topic, our next MuseSpark update is coming soon. Big improvements in coding and agentic capabilities to be more competitive with other leading models. Excited to get these into your hands. We'll be rolling out to the Meta AI and our new API. Now, furthermore, in the comments on this post, he also indicated there will be a lot better coding stuff coming from USpark pretty soon. So either way here, I know Sean mentioned this when we talked about this last week as well, but just because these comments are really doom and gloom from this town hall doesn't mean it was all negative. Sounds like it really isn't all negative. And at least we have some, potential positivity coming from Alexander Wang. So I did want to address that because we talked about that a lot last week. Here's a bit of an update.
Wish him the best, but I remember the similar arguments about Llama 4 and avocado. I wish him the best. Let's talk about this MTIA chip. Very interesting here. So, a couple of things that I can read through this right away. You're seeing Meta trying to sidestep the Nvidia surcharge, so to speak, by really tying the knot here with Samsung. And what they're doing is they're also sidestepping the Taiwan semi bottleneck in terms of capacity. Taiwan semi just doesn't have enough to be able to make the chips that are required of it by AMD, Nvidia, everybody else. So Meta being a little bit smart here, just like Anthropic was, and just like Elon was with Terafab. Remember that deal that he has for the AI6 chip? Remember that deal that Anthropic is evaluating, that $25.5 billion deal for a custom chip deployment on the exact same 2-nanometer process that Meta is apparently exploring here with Samsung. So this has several implications. The read-throughs I already kind of covered there. But implications for Meta are also important here. This is sort of an admission that its own internal silicon design team can't hang. And they can't hang because they've got 6-month deployment cycles. That obviously puts them on a lot of pressure. Just take Nvidia, for example. Take AMD. They're on yearly deployment cycles. Like, who does Meta think there is? They're on twice a year. And that's obviously putting their hardware team, in a hard place, hitting the wall almost to speak. But one last thing I want to say about this is that Samsung has had issues with yields on both their 2-nanometer and their 3-nanometer process, similar to the issues that Intel had with 18A and continues to have with 14A, right? So that's something we need to look out for here, because the quality of these chips is going to be determined, of course, by how well they're manufactured, as well as the scalability. If your yields are like in 50 to 60 some odd percent, then the amount of chips that you can get out there into the open market will also diminish. So those are the things that I'm looking at here. But apparently they're 2-nanometer. It's called Gate-All-Around, GAA manufacturing process. It's supposed to have decent yields, apparently, according to some articles, but nobody's seen it in the wild yet. So that's kind of all I have to say about that.
I like the point that you brought up, Sharif, that they were struggling to create their own style of chip. And I think that's been the narrative within Zuck in the Superintelligence Lab and just his AI build-out in general. He's been really late to some dances, and every product that he's put out with Superintelligence hasn't been a needle mover. Can things change? I know Adara was talking about the update coming soon to MuseSpark, but again, I think it makes things extremely more difficult, just snatching people out of already established ecosystems like the ChatGPTs, the Claudes of the world, and then most definitely Gemini. I understand he got into the prediction markets just due to the amount of users he has within Instagram, WhatsApp, and he's hoping that he can get some of those to transition into his AI tools, but we've yet to see that. So I don't know how much of a major game changer this is, but what it is supposed to help on is efficiencies. So he can really reduce some costs if that's the case, which Mark Zuckerberg needs to at this point.
Let me ask you something. You think, well, I kind of have my own opinion about this, but I'm going to put it to you anyway. Do you think it's easier to scale or to shift usage of an LLM on which you base your product, or to shift your usage of a certain chip off which you base your product? So, I mean, say, for example, if you had NVIDIA, let's just say H100s, and you kind of want to go more of a custom ASICs route, you tie the knot with Marvell, you tie the knot with Broadcom, and your next chip for your deployment cycle is a custom ASICs. But say, for example, these models. Say, for example, I'm building sort of a Palantir style layer on top of, let's just say, ChatGPT. You think that it's easier to switch to go, all right, let me build my layer, my corporate layer on top of Opus rather than Chat. You see what I'm saying? So it's like in the LLM game
compared to changing the physical product, right?
Yeah, because I feel like it's a little bit more maneuverable when you
change your physical product. When it's to change the software.
That's what I'm trying to say,
right? Yeah, I think so. I think it'd be easier to change the software than to change the physical product.
And that leads me to my next question.
Because, sorry, let me because look what you're actually spending all the money on. Is the physical product to create the software.
Well, let's not undercut the amount these guys are spending on tokens right now.
No, 100%.
And that was the point the Palantir CEO, Alex Karp, was trying to make last week when he had his interview that was widely misconstrued, of course, by the media, because that's what they do. This was his thing. He's like, look, I'm being told by CEOs, they've had it up to here about paying all these high token rates and not getting enough reward for it.
Absolutely.
What I'm trying to say is, I think it's a lot easier for them to shift their spending onto a different LLM. So why is that important? Because you can be the premier chip, I think, for a lot longer than you can be the premier LLM.
Model.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Exactly.
So do you think this is a good strategic move from Zuckerberg and company to making this chip shift?
I do think it is. Especially because he hasn't gotten it right so far. So you got to do something different.
You got to continuously take those shots until he hits something. Until he hits something on the head.
That's how I feel about that. All right, let's go back to Sam.
Thank you so much for that. Let's take a look at our next story. So we have Nvidia. So Nvidia's next generation Kyber's rack architecture that's designed for its 2027 Rubin Ultra AI chips has reportedly been delayed up until 2028 due to manufacturing challenges that involve a critical circuit board. Now, this delay also does impact Nvidia's larger NVL576 system, while an alternative design has reportedly been scrapped after cloud customers have pushed back on its complexity as well as operating cost. So the setback could create a rare opportunity for competitors like AMD and Google's in-house AI chips. As we do know, hyperscalers are continuing to expand AI infrastructure, and with that, Nvidia is trading flat at the moment.
All right, let's get down to this. All right, this Kyber NVL 144 rack. If you believe the reports, we've seen NVIDIA respond kind of pseudo to the reports over here. It's going to be delayed from 27 to 28, as Sia pointed out. But, a lot of people are labeling this, it's a circuit board snag. Potentially opening up the door to AMD. I think it's a little bit different. I think this is a technological challenge that even AMD can't do, because these printed circuit boards, PCBs, are super hard to structure. I'm no expert, but I did a little bit of reading. 78 layer printed circuit board mid-plane, highly technical and very easy to get wrong. So much so that NVIDIA had a backup plan for this PCB if it failed. They had it was all ready to go, but the hyperscalers were like, no, we don't want it. No, but seriously, they forced them to cancel this NVL72X entirely after they fiercely pushed back on what they're calling an awkward physical footprint and massive operational power cooling overhead that was required for this specific PCB. So it looked like NVIDIA really couldn't get it done this time around. So they had to kick the can down the road, if you, again, believe the reports. But the structural failure of the box is kind of forcing unprecedented architectural changes, not just in server racks and PCBs, but in the chips themselves. According to some of the reports, the PCB, the current one that they're using, couldn't handle the strength of the Rubin Ultra chip. So they actually had to make alterations to the chip itself so that it would work with the PCB in a more, in a more silky way. I don't even know why I used the word silky there, but
yeah,
the first one that came to mind. In any event, the point I'm trying to say is this is obviously a technical challenge that they're having to overcome, but quite frankly, if I had to throw my hat behind somebody else getting a technical challenge right, it would probably be NVIDIA.
Yeah, I mean, at what point haven't they, right? Like just
there you go.
Securing their supply chain. Other than that, I don't really have too much to comment, guys. Well, I'm long the TQQQs off of the volume weighted average price, and Blicky's asking me what's going on with NVDA. I just think there's so much going on from a headwind standpoint within the name in itself, that you see its largest customers really start to pivot and create their own custom chips. Google, the Amazons, the Metas of the world really starting to shift, and you can see the market price.
I wonder who predicted that.
You predicted it, my God.
Many times, bro.
So the question for the company is, what is that next wave? And is it going to be the sovereign nations? Who is it? What is it going to be? I think that's going to be it, but is it going to amount to what we've seen from a CapEx standpoint with the hyperscalers? I don't think so.
All right, let's go back to Sia.
take a look at AMD. Japanese autonomous driving startup Turing has added AMD Ventures as an investor and begun using AMD AI accelerators, reducing the dependence on Nvidia as it's preparing for commercial deployment. The company is now using AMD GPUs for roughly 10% of its AI training workload, and it's also citing lower computing costs and greater supply chain diversification. So AMD is due to up on the day, 7.6%.
Yeah, this is interesting here. So I'm just reading more about this. Moving 10% of training workloads to AMD isn't just about saving money on chips, this report writes. It's an aggressive software integration test. The absolute choke point for non-NVIDIA hardware has always been software compatibility, and that's where NVIDIA's flourished, right, with CUDA. Turing engineers, I'd say, are working directly with AMD to optimize its end-to-end full self-driving neural networks on, yes, you guessed it, AMD's open source ROCm software stack, not the CUDA stack. So I think this is kind of what I take from this is, we know CUDA is basically a closed sort of source system. This is an open source device, right? So if you are AMD, you're kind of taking the Chinese approach to LLMs than the North American approach to LLMs. The North American approach obviously has been closed source models. The Chinese have been open source. AMD's opting for this open source overlaying software, what they're calling ROCm software, whereas CUDA is closed source. So it's a bit of a different take. Interesting look. I also like how AMD's throwing their hat into the autonomous driving ring as well by backing this VC. So we'll see how they do. Los Pollos Hermanos, are you watching Argentina versus Egypt match tomorrow, or are you doing the show? I'm going to be doing both. We're going to have the match on the side screen. Gary, Joe, Sharif, I've worked in electronics for over 20 years. A highly complex board has 14 layers. 70 plus is crazy. That's what I was trying to say. Gray.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow. Okay, I'm not going to read that name there, but yeah, it's interesting. Thank you for the comment there, but your name, if you want us to read out your name, you're going to have to change it. All right.
What a rinse job, man.
That's my problem with NVDA, says Ichiro. Someday an alternative good enough will happen soon. That's my concern as well about that, man, especially because we've seen already the sourcing away from going after NVIDIA's GPUs, and we've seen as well that GPUs are not the end-all and be-all for all tasks. If you are looking for a specific type of task, then the ASIC obviously performs a little bit better, and it's a little bit cheaper. So we'll have to wait and see how that goes. But let's go back to see.
Let's talk a little bit about Uber. It's paused most of its planned Uber Eats expansion across Europe as it's focusing on acquisition of Delivery Hero. So Uber has shelved the launches of 5 to 7 countries that was originally targeted for the year 2026, which is this year, despite previously projecting roughly $1 billion in additional gross bookings over the next 3 years. So management has said that this decision follows strong launches in Finland as well as Denmark, and also continues to allow Uber to concentrate on growing existing markets rather than pursuing these acquisitions. And with that, Uber is down on the day 1.2%.
Okay, I don't have much to say about this specific headline, but I got to tell you, I really did like the upgrade to Uber Eats. On my last trip, you can now order your food straight to your room. So it's kind of like just you have room service with the hotel, but you also have room service with Uber Eats. So if you don't like what the hotel is offering in terms of a menu, you need not worry. Uber Eats will deliver that right to your door. Now, I did have a problem with one of the initial drivers. I gave him specific instructions to come up to the room, and he ended up only putting it by the front desk. So, he may or may not have received a lesser tip, and may or may not have received lesser stars than the individual who did schlep up to the hotel room with my food, by the way. So I know the humanity, David. All right, man, I'm just giving you my point here. But with respect to this story, I do like 5 of 7 countries as well. They originally target for 2026. $1 billion in additional gross bookings over the next 3 years. So that is a bit of an interesting change there. Management said that the decision follows a strong launch in Finland and Denmark, as Sia was talking about, allows them to concentrate on their existing markets. One of my understandings is if Uber is not one or two, in position 1 or 2 for whatever industry they are in, they will leave the market. And so, we'll have to wait and see if they manage to stay 1 or 2 in those jurisdictions. But yeah, see ya.
So SK Hynix has filed to list American Depository Shares, that's ADSs, on the Nasdaq under the ticker SKHY, giving the investors direct access to one of the world's leading AI memory chip makers. So now each ADS will be representing 1/10 of a common share. The pricing to be determined based on SK Hynix's Korean-based shares, listed shares, and as well as the market conditions. So investor demand already is appearing to be pretty strong. Bailey Guilford, Co2 Management, and Situational Awareness Partners, who are indicating interest in purchasing up to $7 billion of ADS's cornerstone investors.
So the amount of shares that are going to be issued by SK Hynix here are not limited because they felt like making it a limited amount. They're actually legislatively constrained by South Korean law from issuing a certain amount of shares. So 17.79 million new shares being issued, okay? But that's about only 2.5% of the outstanding equity. So under South Korean regulatory law, the parent company, in this case SK Square, legally mandated to maintain a minimum of 20% of absolute corporate ownership of the stake in the company. So the size of that $28 billion raise was mathematically capped to keep SK Square perfectly insulated above that kind of local regulatory minimum. So they got to hold 20%. So that number not existing in a vacuum, there's reasons why we're doing that. So these are going to be American Depository Shares, not receipts. To know a little bit of the difference there. So quick, maybe YouTube or Google search, whatever. There's also that atypical 10-to-1 fractional split. So to kind of prevent out pricing of retail momentum traders, SK Hynix, they engineer this kind of unique 10-to-1 conversion ratio. So 10 ADSs here, American Depository Shares, represent one common SOL share. So this maps the individual trading price to about $158 to $166 per ADS. We still haven't been given the range, right? But we're mathematically able to predict it just based on that 10-to-1 formula that the company themselves said that they were going to follow. But there's also a bit of a correction here. Remember in late June, we kind of heard about SK Hynix filing with the SEC and that they were going to, possibly list in North America. Well, we got 12% reduction in that week as well to the price. So a lot of analysts are saying that 12% move was the market reacting to the incoming dilution as a result of these 17.79 new million shares that are going to have. Last but not least, ASML stands to be a big boy winner for the money that's going to be raised by this new IPO. So financial blogs, they're indicating that there's a highly restrictive legal contract that SK Hynix has here with ASML. And apparently, it's forcing them to use a certain amount of the money that they're going to raise to buy their EUV machines, the extreme ultraviolet lithography machines, right? And so that is slated to take place up until December of 2027. So that's when the contract expires. And I don't know the details, of course, it's secretive, but one must assume that they will be buying sporadically with that new money between now and 27.
Yeah, I think this dilution is absolutely going to be disastrous for the actual stock in itself. To be honest with you, right? There goes the market. I mean, we took some heavy swings at the lows here. It's just not finding any form of a bounce. Yeah, I think it's going to be absolutely disastrous for the price action. You have dilution, and then now you're going to get the American retail individual and even more people investing in this name. It's been on a parabolic run, and what have we seen before when we've had major names really do the split? NVDA hasn't been performing well. I understand I'm comparing apples to oranges here, but you have Netflix also doing the exact same thing. And then you're going from a 10 to 1 that it's not going to be good, and you're going to see quite a bit of chop, in my opinion, regardless of bottleneck or not. At least you're going to start to see the reports, which I believe you already can have access to. But that's something that I'd be looking into specifically with this name. I don't like the dilution, and you can see that the Kospi, it's like 25% of the index. A lot of people in South Korea are retail investors. I mentioned it this morning. You have 60 million people, 14 million people are on the retail side of things, trading SK Hynix and Samsung. I just believe it's going to be really, really bad and just add too much of a large float. And we see names with larger floats and how the price action works. It's choppy stuff at times.
Completely separate and not to do with this story. You see Gwen Shotwell, what she did today, bro?
No.
She just donated big boy money to Trump accounts, for, of course, not for President Trump, of course. For the kids of America. She donated SpaceX shares, her and her husband, to be fair, it's not just her. And that came to be about $335 million, give or take, current prices.
330. That's
335. So shout out to Prezi Shotwell of SpaceX, of course. So interesting look there. You know,
it's very.
Maybe
I think the Trump accounts. I like the Trump account.
Accounts, man.
I think it's the smartest thing.
Gershner was pounding the table on CNBC this morning as well. Do you like Gershner?
I don't mind
Brad Gershner.
Yeah,
I like
don't mind
Gershner.
Brad. He's always on CNBC.
Very tech guy. All right, let's send it back to see it. Talk a little.
Let's talk a little Boeing. Yes, so Boeing has officially begun operating a fourth 737 MAX assembly line at its Everett, Washington facility, marking another step in its effort to restore aircraft production. So the new line supports Boeing's long-term goal of increasing 737 MAX output from the current 47 aircraft per month. I was talking about this story just, I believe, over a month ago when I was reporting on this, per month to 52 by early of next year, 2027, BA ultimately studying to reach the 70 jets, as high as 70 jets per month mark. Adara, what do you have to say about this?
Yeah, I think in general, like this is just, Sharif made that was out. And I think honestly, since Kelly Ortberg has been in charge of Boeing, they've done a lot less than they used to. I mean, he stepped into the lead role CEO in, I think, August 8th, 2024, I want to say. So it's been almost 2 years. I think the turnaround in this company, not necessarily 100% reflected in the stock, but I think certainly reflected in the public-facing view of the company and what they've been able to accomplish. I will once again tip my hat to the work that Kelly Ortberg and company have done over at BA. And I think especially given the challenge that they faced, given how low morale was, it definitely took a lot of dawn to clean the public image of that company. I think they've done a pretty good job here with BA. So I will once again tip my hat to Kelly Ortberg. Now let's see if this production increases. Can they keep the quality of the planes up? That's what I want to see next.
This is like the most important thing for the company, in my opinion, production, because they have no shortage in orders and demand. President Trump went to China. He touted the new deal that he got for Boeing from Chinese buyers. But I'll submit to you guys, Boeing never had a demand problem. They never had a shortage of orders. What they did have was a shortage of deliveries, and good ones at that. So, if increasing production capacity, to me, is the number one thing that Kelly Ortberg has to focus on. He doesn't need to create more demand. A lot of demand exists. He just needs to get his product out there. I like this, but let's also be honest that the FAA has still been certified. You wanted to cover that, sorry.
That's all right. No, that's all right.
They're still doing, ever since when was it? January of 2024.
The audit.
During President Biden's administration, when they were using liquid soap and all that stuff that we always joked about at the time. We don't joke about it now because it's not happening, right? But they're still under FAA oversight. Prior to that, Joey, we should probably tell everybody that they were certifying themselves. Now, a lot of people didn't like that because they said, well, how can you be objective certifying yourself? But the fact of the matter is that self-certification process helped increase production. That self-certification process no longer exists. Therefore, production will, at least under current form, will still kind of be at current levels.
Absolutely.
Just 1 second. What's going on over there, Katina, man? The Katina man is short 160 on SpaceX, so he's
SpaceX
$1.50 in the money here. So we're going to shut him out. What do you think, man?
No, I agree. Like, listen, at one point it was in conversation that they needed to get FAA under the belt of Boeing itself so they can produce more aircraft. Demand, as Sharif mentioned, is no issue. You have a backlog of over 10 years. Now, I find it extremely odd that a company that essentially only has one competitor in the commercial airspace can't really produce what it needs to and or turn an extreme amount of profit. The stock itself is displaying that, like, hey, man, this company has been in trouble, and I'm not going to say it still is. The narrative is changing within Boeing, but I don't believe it's changing fast enough. When you do something and you have brand damage like that, where you're using zip ties and dish soap, you can see that now you're overseen by the FAA, which was the major issue. I just don't understand from a production capability. I get that they're now bringing in a whole new line, which is huge. But if you control your own supply chain, I just didn't understand why these guys weren't allowed or didn't have the capability to hit certain delivery numbers and metrics for quite some time. They're struggling, and now they're kind of getting their act together. But also, Sharif, there was multiple occasions where we've seen that they were allowed to deliver and produce more aircraft through certain lines, which is huge for the company. But again, I just feel like they can be performing significantly better.
Our final story for the day, Cosmos Energy, KOS, has reported strong production from its new J76 well at the Jubilee field offshore in Ghana. So the well is currently producing roughly 20,000 barrels of oil per day, lifting second quarter field production to approximately 72,000 barrels per day and pushing the exit rate above 85,000 barrels per day. So another producer well, that's J77, has already been completed and is expected online shortly, with management targeting an approximate value of 90,000 barrels per day of gross production. So a final producer well, that's J50, is expected to begin production by the end of July. The stock is not reacting as much at the moment. It's up 1.2% on the day.
Yeah, I don't have much to say here. See it, to be honest with you, not a company I keep too much, tabs on, or a space really that I keep a lot of focus on here, Joey. But KOS, look, decent report, 20,000 barrels per day. That's a current production. They're looking at getting to about 85,000. Company also reduced net debt, $400 million first half of the year. They're on track to cut their full debt by 20% on a year-over-year basis by the end of this year. Stronger cash flow. Just from a fundamentals perspective, obviously a good look, but I don't have a comment.
I don't know anything about this company. So.
All right, thank you so much, Sia, for the news segment. Let's start over here by pointing out that FXHO did exactly what I said it was going to do, and I hope nobody got lured into this bull trap, and this is what they are, okay? I don't need to see any more of these patterns to know that this is a bull trap pattern. It is a higher low, flat bottom break pattern, and there it goes. So it didn't happen on the first pop, but it happened on the second one. Into 22 it goes, and then all hell broke loose down into 17, and 17 and a fifth. So watch out here. It's lost VWAP. It's lost area lows at around $18, now barely holding on to 17. FXHO, this is the pattern. I'm going to take my time to explain this pattern again, okay? Because it is one that will get a lot of traders in trouble, especially small cap traders. This is a great move up, right? But there's a lot about this that is yelling bearish, bearish, bearish. This very prolonged downtrend here found support at a not very surprising area, the volume weighted average price. That is the white line. And then what it started doing, it started showing you, okay, here it is. 15 minutes of upward price action off $18, clearing 21. I'm ready to go again. I'm ready to take out that $25 high that I put in at 11.55. No, it isn't. No, it isn't. That's because what's happening here is you're getting a lot of short covering. Why are you getting short covering at VWAP? Because that's where a lot of shorts put their price target at. So naturally, when shorts start to cover, they are required to buy. So then you have upward price action, but then they take advantage of that because they see long volume jumping in with them while they're covering, only to start pushing you down again. And that's exactly what happened here. This is a bull trap. I see it as a bull trap almost once a day, at least on the show, okay? So FXHO, be careful. By the same token, LHSW could be the same thing. It is a little bit different in every single case, right? So they're not all going to be identical chart patterns, but this is the same thing where it has a very prolonged period of downtrend, finds support at VWAP, lures you in by a nice move up, maybe 6, maybe even 6.5. Man, you already got a 6 rejection. Watch for a possible move up to 6.5, and then it ends up losing the area low and losing it quite decisively, like we saw there on FXHO. So hey, there, keep your eye on that one. Now, LUCY, Joey, we had a good day here on Lucy. Into $1.57 it goes, coming back into 1.25 above the volume weighted average price. This one is, I wouldn't say it's the same setup, especially if you can get above that 145. But what I'd say be very careful with is you had that resistance at 150. We only cleared it by 7 pennies, Joey. 157 area high. So that's a look there. RXT has been very good. Had no trades on this, but it's also putting in some lower highs here. So perhaps the best trade for this one is behind it. Bovin, you were tagging me with some names here earlier. So tag me again with those names. Yeah, I just covered it, VWAP Viking. Lucy, I don't mind this Lucy trade. If it can get above 140, 145, I think that sets you up for another 150 break. My concern, though, is the decisiveness of that 150 clearing initially wasn't that good. It was a 7 penny clearance and a lot of topping tail candles above 155. So I'm a little concerned about that one. Shout out to my man, VWAP Viking? Yeah, VWAP Viking. You see your Vikings yesterday?
Yeah.
You must have been very impressed because I know you called that Norway team because you like their chant.
I like Holland too.
Yeah, he's so weird. I'm not going to ever say I like that guy.
You don't like him?
No, of course not. He's the enemy. He's an absolute enemy.
For you?
For Arsenal.
Oh, for Arsenal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you kidding? He's City's number 9, man.
Yeah, he's a killer.
Absolutely. Go 2 studs up on that bad boy. Right?
Oh, man.
Straight red.
Straight red.
Played. I would never do that. That's very not sportsman.
That's very.
No, but they played very well. Sorry, Assassino. You know, we love you. You're a very important person in our life, of course, Assassino. But Brazil, they didn't live up to their expectations yesterday. I was disappointed with the way Brazil was playing forward. I was also disappointed, Assassino, with Ancelotti's decision making. I love Neymar. Neymar is a hell of a player, but he's way past his prime. Why is he coming on?
How old is Neymar?
I don't know, bro, but why is he coming on?
How old is Neymar now?
I don't know. 32? How old is the Assassino?
Man, he's definitely not 32.
37.
37.
He's born 34, guys. That was off by 2.
He's born 92, man.
That was off by 2. Yeah, that's your world
yeah,
right
that's
there,
my
right?
year.
That's your world right there.
Yeah, Assassino's saying his body is soft, man. He's like.
Well, dude, he has very, very bad tendons. Like he's constantly getting.
And he's been
injured
partying too. He's been living his best life for sure.
Because he sells jerseys.
All right, yeah. Full disclosure, guys, we're done for the day. I took some heavy swings on this bad boy for the long, very tight risk, but share size. So we're shut down. Full disclosure, I don't feel any type of way other than agitated. But hey, man,
sorry,
it is what it is. No need to be sorry. Like we took the stabs. I went long here. See, the thing is, I don't know why I just didn't stick with my original thesis. Was the short, and I'm like, okay, if we fail to establish a new high right here, this would be the short entry. But instead, I'm like, okay, let's see if we find a bounce because the Nasdaq always bounces. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if it does at some point here. But anyways, aside from that, I had a small size. That was just a feeler just so I could get filled there. I'm like, okay, I know if I go long, they'll sell price off a little bit to the point where I have my larger order resting. And that was going to be this one right here at 76.70s for that bounce. Boom, into 77s. Didn't get it. So we get out at the break of the volume weighted average price and I try it again. And then it just wanted to absorb a little bit more liquidity before making any form. But yeah, D. Westermeyer, you were 1,000% right on that one, my bud.
He's awesome, bro.
Yeah, he was on. He's like, hey,
man.
I think we break view up after that first attempt. I'm like, you're right. So let me be patient and wait. But I wasn't patient enough as it's starting to find a rebound. But yeah. And I believe SpaceX is going to break down as well through this support level. It's starting to form a shelf at 50s. If that breaks, then I wouldn't be surprised if we head into that $125 marker, maybe even $100. Do you think we see SpaceX south of $100? I wouldn't be surprised. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I also wouldn't be surprised at the fact if it did go south of 100. And we talked about the release date, right? So there's a massive amount of shares and liquidity stepping into the market after that Q2 report. A day after the Q2 report, you'll have a lot of individuals selling.
You will, man.
Potentially.
Yeah, well, that's a great point, man. That's actually a great point. No, hey, look, I'm going to bring it back to a little sports talk over here. Sharif, Joe, will USA win tonight, says Grey Worm. What?
I said I hope not. I want Belgium to win.
This guy, he doesn't know who our viewers are.
Yeah, that's all right. They know I love them. What, would you rather me lie to you and say, hey, I want the U.S. to win? Come on, hold on, let me finish here. There's a little bit of a grudge just from me. Whoa, what is this guy doing?
Yo, Juan, he wants that red card reinstituted.
You know I love every single one of you. But we've lost to the U.S. in gold medal.
Yep.
Right, in hockey.
Yeah.
So with that being said, there's that competitive edge where I don't want y'all to win, and I'm just being honest.
Oh man, I want.
It's too much winning. It's just been too much winning. It's been too much winning. Yeah, it's been.
Well, hey man, the Dow's above 50,000 again.
Dude, it's too much winning for my liking. It's like you guys got to lose somewhere. So.
Look, man, I love America. I want America. USA to win, right?
All right.
But I was going to say that I had an Arsenal connection to Belgium because Leandro Trossard plays for Arsenal. He is Arsenal's left wing, one of Arsenal's left wing. But Joey, he is now sold. This guy, bro. He just he drops a line, then he's like, I gotta say.
I'm in the chat, man. They're saying I'm drinking that haterade, man.
Well, you kind of are, bro.
I'm not a hater,
you kind of are, bro.
Nah.
I stand with Joe after the red card thing. Eddie, brother, I'd like to know where you live. Eddie, do you live in America, brother?
America,
because
man.
I feel like most of your comments are very, Let me know where you live at, Eddie. I'd love to hear it. Anyway, Trossard is gone. Apparently, Besiktas and Arsenal have now struck a deal. Spain, says Eduardo. Oh, there we go. That makes more sense. Shout out to my man, Eduardo. Apparently, Arsenal and Besiktas have now struck a deal to send Leandro Trossard to the Turkish Super League. So he will no longer be an Arsenal player, if you believe the reports, and that removes my connection, of course, to the Belgian side.
Who's this? Does Saka play for your Arsenal?
Yes, he does.
He's pretty good.
Yeah, he's they call him Starboy.
I'm not welcome. I gotta check in. I'm not welcome across the board.
Well, yeah, exactly, Joey. You may have some problems getting through customs from now on, man. We love you, Eduardo, brother. I'm
like
just
you.
kidding.
Oh yeah, Papacito.
What's going on,
you're
Randy?
100% right on that, Papacito, for sure.
No, but that's going to be a good matchup tonight.
It is. It is very much so.
Yeah. I felt
it's
Belgium very, very underperforming in terms of the talent that they have, brother. They have some of the best players in the world, and they always habitually underperform. I think they're underperforming again. They almost lost to Egypt, save and except for an own goal blemish, which was kind of created by Romelu Lukaku.
Yeah.
They would have not won the group. They only beat us by 1 goal differential.
Yeah.
Right? And I haven't thought that they look pretty good, to be honest with you. And they started fighting with each other. Did you see that? Yuri Tielemans and Leandro Trossard started fighting on top of the pitch before they beat Senegal.
Wow.
Senegal was beating them 2-0. Senegal was about to clear. I'm sitting there watching the game as I'm about to take off. And then it's 2-0. Then I go line up and I put the game on while we're in the air. Starlink, by the way, on American Airlines. Loved it.
Shout out America.
Yeah. And it's 3-2.
Oh.
I'm like, how the hell did this happen? Senegal flopped completely, but they were about to get eliminated and beat by another African team. So I got to tell you, I don't like Belgium's chances here. Now, guys, there's a lot running, so let's get right down to it. INLF ripped up. 933 was halted at 767. Big move up here, 933. So be on the lookout here. INLF doing things. It's up about 106%. It's $122 million market cap. I can't get you guys the float. It's not available, at least on my platform. But the levels are as follows. Area low is this candle right there, 823. So think 8 1/4. And then if that level gives way, you're looking at that 7 2/3 area, because that's a halt level there. It looks like it was a 10-minute halt. So a little bit longer of a halt level. You haven't done that much way in volume, by the way. Only about 2 million shares traded so far on an $8 3/4 name. And now we're, closing in on 2 o'clock. So INLF, not a bad look today. Sharif, you look tired today. Brother, I just got back from, a really long trip where I was doing a lot of driving. I'll take that any day over, coming in and, feeling super refreshed. I'll take the trip, baby. After they cried like losers to FIFA, says Philip. Hey, man, they got the thing removed, so President Trump flexing his metaphorical muscles there. I don't know if he actually has real muscles. Shout out to him.
Who?
President Trump.
Yeah, real muscles?
Yeah, I said metaphorical muscles.
Yeah. He's up there too, man, so he's a little bit.
Fake news.
Fake news. No, I'm only messing around. I love you guys all. Your good stuff. And I love the UFC. It's pure American.
Bro, he's a tank. What?
He's a big dude, man.
Yeah, he's tall. I don't know if he's big, but
big in from a muscle mass standpoint. Too much McDonald's there every day.
Well, he loves that McDonald's thing. You wanna go already? Because we're only a few more minutes.
Well,
left because I'm gonna be sending it to you at 2 o'clock.
Right at 2 o'clock. Yeah, I can go over there, man. Set up everything.
Time,
all right, guys, you'll see me here momentarily. Don't worry, Neil will be back in the desk tomorrow.
How many days do you cover for Neil there, man?
Whole week, man.
He's gonna owe you some money.
Well, you don't owe me anything,
better
man.
Bring you a nice little present.
Don't worry.
Jolly old
we ain't
thing.
mad at you. No, I'm only messing around with you guys. You guys know I love you, but when
right.
it comes to competition,
I know how you feel about that.
Yeah,
I know
I'm not gonna lie to you guys.
INLF, guys, continuing to go. Let's cover this before we send it off to the big boys. Here it is again. Another intraday high into 939, showing 9.25, holding up trend. So watch out here. INLF could see $10 in a hurry. And if it clears $10, I don't know where this goes. Just 1 second, Katina Man. We'll cover your SpaceX trade there in a second. But the Katina Man's printing over $5 in the money now on the SpaceX short, and as he is short 160.5. Shout out to Katina Man. But what you guys are looking at here is the daily chart on INLF. This one lost all sorts of strength there on the 17th. It also engaged in a 1 for 200 split on today, I guess, or the day prior. So this one just did split. So be on the lookout here. INLF into 939. Mopar for life, dropping 2 in the chat. Thanks for that. Arsenal looking at picking up the 17-year-old Mora from Mexico. Really, I did not know that, man. I was hearing rumors of Morgan Rogers from Villa. I was also hearing Barcola from from Barcelona, and that was it. Those were the 2 names. And then who else? There was one other guy. Yeah, who's that? That guy from Newcastle. Fact check me, chat. What's the name of the guy from Newcastle? That Tonali guy. Yeah, Tonali. I'm pretty sure they were looking for that Tonali guy as a possible Premier League to Premier League transfer. And I like those a lot more because when they come from other leagues, there's really no guarantee that they play well in the Prem. But that's what I'm looking at there. Shout out to my man Benton. That's a lot. We need a Joe shirt for darts. Oh my days, that's crazy. I don't even know what that means, man. Ozan's asking you. Because you were talking about the U.S. there, Joey. Like you were saying stuff about the U.S. Ozan, last thing I remember, Joe was running for the door, had to find the passage back to the place I was before Relax. Said the Katina Man, you can check out anytime you like, but you can never. Ozan, what? What am I reading here, Ozan? Or Barcolas from PSG. Sorry, yes, thank you. That's what I was wondering you guys were talking about. Tonali went to Tottenham. When did that happen, Benton? Tonali, yeah, and Gavin Ross says the same thing. Tonali went to Spurs. Thank God he didn't come over to Arsenal, man. Anybody who's coming in from that side is no longer welcome in that side of North London. And with that, we're going to send you off to the big boys. We'll see you guys same bad time, same bad channel. Neil back in the hot seat tomorrow. Take care, guys.
God, Neil's back? Okay. What's up, Joe?